Hey yo, Wagwan, Wagwan, what's good? Random show settings, what's the vibe? What are you lot saying? Welcome back to the random show. I know it's been a long time. Apologies for my what's that called? Apologies for my radio silence and inability to stream on time and regularly. But this next few weeks or so, I will start ramping up the stream schedule because I've got some more free time off work and whatnot. So you'll be seeing me on here a lot more than I was prior. So apologies for those of you who have been waiting to hear me say my piece and talk my crap. And it kind of is what it is. But I'm back in this fucking driver's seat, and we're gonna get going, and we're gonna get bloody going. So pick up the stream chat, pick up everybody tuning in. I appreciate all of you guys. As per usual, standard, random show settings vibes. If you like what you see, you like what you see, you see what you like. Make sure you smash the like button down below. If you like what you see or you see what you like, make sure you slide. No, if you like what you see and you see what you like, make sure you smash the like button down below, right? That's all I ask from you. And of course, if you got any questions, tag me in the chat, usual shit. You know how it is. No delay. Let's get involved right away, right? Right away. And I want to open this show with a very interesting video, right? For me, one of the most interesting and most funny videos I've seen in a very, very long time, because I think at the moment we're in a bit of a drought when it comes to content, right? Content creation's a little bit stagnant, it's a little bit boring, it's a little bit samey. If anything, there's probably a need to just be like really radical, or if not even radical, really creative, right? To kind of think outside the box. Like the other day, I was browsing TikTok and stuff, and I was like, you know what? Even though I was posting some clips of my DJing stuff on my TikTok account, I was like, you know what I want to do? I might want to just change my whole approach of how I approach social media, and like have different medias for like different things. So my TikTok would just be like a place where I just post all the, fun and interesting things I do on a daily basis, whether it's reading, writing, going to the gym, all this kind of like self-improvement stuff. I'll just post all that kind of quote unquote good, happy content on there, right? And make that be the place, because I don't want to turn my TikTok into just another like funnel for me to push all my other content. A lot of people do nowadays. They just have social media accounts and they just splay each account with the same content in different areas. I'll just want to have it be one place. Okay, if you want to see Happy Aggie, hiya, then you go to my TikTok. If you want to hear me shit on fucking designers, you go to my Twitter. If you want to see me in fit pics, you go to my Instagram. And if you want to hear me rant, you come to my YouTube. That's going to be my kind of content media strategy. Anyway, without all that being said and taking myself away from the situation, I really do like to analyze the trends and what people do, that aren't me. And I'm really loving two personalities coming out of the woodwork. I'm loving the contrarian thing, which I've always been a fan of, because I just think it's funny to like say things that you don't believe in just to be like the opposite of what everyone else thinks, to get on the nerves. I love that thing, right? I know Anna Cashion from fucking Red Scare podcast is one of my favorites for doing that, right? Anna Cashion will just come out and be a contrarian just for the sake of it. Everybody in the timeline was basically telling Henry Kissinger to rest in piss, and she put up a post saying, "This is my celebration of Henry Kissinger's life. He's fucking amazing, blah, blah, blah." So I love that stuff. The other thing I love is the incredibly misogynistic men that just throw out crazy comments just to kind of stir the pot and get women on social media to get angry. I love those two personalities, the contrarian and just the incredibly hyper masculine, hyper machismo guy who just is the most flagrant, misogynist thing you could ever say in your entire life, and it gets everybody going crazy. This is one example of it. I swear to God, when you hear this guy talk, you're going to laugh as much as I did when I heard it the first time. Please watch this and try not to laugh, right? This is your challenge. I challenge you to try not to laugh when you hear this clip. Please try not to laugh.
She's not leaving until she frees up the pum pum. How about that? A woman is not going to leave my yard after me spending big 30 boys on her and she's not giving me pum pum. She's not leaving the yard, fam. Yeah, the door's getting closed, cuz. Yeah, you're going to put out for man. Straight. You're going to put out for man. Yeah. She knew what it was when she came through. Yeah. Don't come to my yard thinking it's a free thing, fam. Yeah. Don't come to my yard thinking it's a free thing. It can never be a free thing. Never be a free thing, fam. No way, fam. No way. She needs to know what it is before she pulls up, cuz. Yeah? She needs to know what it is before she pulls up. You can never come to my yard and not free up no pum pum, but I've got to spend £30 on your Uber Eats. Nah, cuz. Nah. He's not.
I love this type of content because you know he doesn't mean anything he's saying. He's clearly just saying it just to get a rise out of people. But even if he does mean it, just think of the cinema you're seeing on the screen. Think of the cinema. Think of the set creation. You've never seen a set like this in your entire life. He's talking about essentially holding women hostage, right, in his home. Right, he's basically talking as if he sets traps up in his house. He invites them over to his crib, and he effectively holds them hostage over a £30 Uber Eats meal, DoorDash, obviously, if you're in the States and stuff, right? Imagine the gumption you would need to say this type of stuff on social media. But look at the set design. He's saying this while he's sitting on the floor in front of a mattress with no fucking covers. And a bag of toilet paper that's just been opened at the back. Can you see the fucking amazing cinematography that's going on here? This is pure fucking cinema. You know what I mean? Scorsese, eat your fucking heart out, mate. This is what I call fucking cinema. Look at this. And this is the type of content I want to see on social media. I want to hear from contrarians, and I want to hear people that go out of their way to try and get under the skin of like women on social media and just try and piss them off for the sake of fucking clicks, because he is getting absolutely ruined on social. But clearly he wants the engagement and he wants the views, so he's gonna get, you know, he's gonna fucking soak it in. You know, he's gonna soak it all in and use it to fucking peddle whatever message he's trying to push there. And you know, I guess now with the vacuum of the space that's been left out in social media, with, you know, maybe, you know, what's his name, Andrew Tate going down, Kevin Samuels dying a year ago, 2 years ago, there's a little bit of a gap there in the market for these type of like brutally honest, I say what I mean what I say type of guys, isn't it? But I just love it in terms of a content thing. It makes me fucking laugh. It honestly does, because I don't for 1 minute believe this guy means anything that he says. I think he's just doing it just to get under people's skin. But even if he doesn't believe what he says, it's the pure bravado and the gumption and the fucking confidence that he has to say what he's saying, while he's clearly living in most likely his parents' house, right, in a room that isn't even furnished properly. And he's telling people that, you know, £30 is his fucking limit. You know what I mean? A £30 date is the equivalent of honestly, bro, this transactional relationship he has with women over £30 is fucking crazy, because I'm certain, I'm more than certain that you couldn't even take a girl out on a date to go see the movies for £30. I don't think so. I don't think you could go and buy 2 tickets for 2 adults to go and see fucking Napoleon and get yourself a couple of drinks and popcorn for £30. It's impossible. You're not even spending that to go to the movies. But he's expecting, if you come over to his house, that you have to give him sex for fucking a £30 DoorDash order that most likely he will tell you what you can and can't order. You know what I mean? He won't even let you just go and browse his phone. You can't touch his phone, of course. He might even make you log into the fucking app via his tablet or something. And then he's going to put a limit on what you're buying anyway. But yeah, it's just fucking hilarious. And also, it's like, how many of these scenarios have actually happened? Like, how many? I'm going to say 0 scenarios is happening. And also, if you're a dude, surely if there's girls out there that are willing to fucking fuck you for a £30 DoorDash order, you have to be thinking, maybe you're the problem. That you're attracting women who will give it up for £30. It's like, whoa. I swear to God, in some places, I don't even think in Skid Row, in Skid Row you could probably get a blowy for $30, isn't it? If you wanted to get a blowjob, you could probably get it for $30, isn't it, for crackhead if you wanted to. But god damn it, bro. Anyway, big up that content strategy. I will not be employing that going forward. I've got too much at risk, and also, you know, I don't really like. I wish I could do that sort of stuff, you know, like just say things I don't mean, just to get it out there. I wish I could do that, but I don't have the ability to do that. And it's not like a I'm proud thing. I wish I could not do that, because I think it's actually a clever way to kind of market yourself and push your content out there. It's not like I'm saying, oh, because I think I'm better than people. No, I just honestly wish I could do that whole like, facts don't care about your feelings. You know, there's only 2 genders, all that sort of stuff that people say just to get a reaction. And they don't mean it. I wish I could do that, because that's actually a way to go. Like that really is a way to go. Like imagine if I said like imagine if I just got on the fucking if I got on the internet and just started saying, yeah, fucking Brendan Shaw's better than fucking Dave Chappelle. The Gringo Pappy is the greatest piece of content created in the last 20 years or something. Do you know what I mean? And then argue my point. That would be really good. I'll just argue it. I'll become like an unapologetic fucking Brendan Stan. That would be fucking sick, bro. But yeah, big up the stream chat. Big up everybody joining in. Appreciate all of you for hanging with me. We've just started, so big up everybody that's joined in. I see you, Alejandro, Jesse Black, Coiler, Uche, Teju, Stinger Goo, Cloud K20, Andrew Taint. Who else is in here? Everybody, Doyd, I see you. Big up, 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 big up the watcher. Thank you for joining. I appreciate all of you. But yeah, man, you know. Oh, mate. Also, I want to change my mind about the fucking Cybertruck. I've been watching a bunch of content. I've been watching a bunch of Tesla Cybertruck content, specifically this review from Top Gear. And I have to be fucking honest, that thing is fucking gorgeous. Like, let's not lie. Like, and in just in terms of just an inspirational, aspirational piece of engineering, it's just nice to see something like this on the road. And I think what this might end up doing for cars going forward, especially car design, what you end up seeing, I think, hopefully, I want to see more car manufacturers basically make more concept cars, you know? Because I remember that's one thing that used to annoy me. When I was doing industrial design, product design and shit in school, and I was doing a little bit of automobile design and shit, right? I used to always get annoyed when you'd be, you know, reading through books and stuff, or you'd go to certain exhibitions or whatnot, or shows, and you'd see all these amazing concept cars that, you know, different brands, you know, like car companies like Mercedes, BMW, Porsche, Lamborghini had put together, even some smaller ones like Vauxhall and stuff, right? And you see these amazing concept cars, and there'd be those concept cars would never make it into production. And it used to always fucking piss me off, because the concept cars look immensely cool, immensely interesting, and would really, really move things, like really move the needle, but they never ever put them into production. They'd always take like a small element of a concept car. Maybe they'll take the seats, the wing mirrors, paneling, seats, whatever. They'll take a tiny bit of the concept car and then they'll put that in production. It's really annoying. So I'm hoping with the fucking Tesla Cybertruck, what you end up seeing is more concept cars being made into production cars. That's the one thing that I actually hope. Another thing I noticed also is this. I've noticed that in most of the Tesla Cybertruck content, especially reviews and stuff when they're interviewing people, because on this particular Top Gear review, they interviewed a lot of the engineers who was working on the fucking car. I'm interested to see, there's not a lot of content that includes Elon in this. It's a lot of, you know, car guys basically interviewing Tesla engineers and designers and stuff, but there's not a lot of Elon content, which is good, obviously, because a lot of people don't really like Elon, right? But I also have seen, in my opinion, I've seen a shift in the conversation around him, because whenever people are focusing on the SpaceX and the Starship, Tesla and their fleet of cars, what he's doing with the fucking AI, the growth, all this sort of shit, that's when it's interesting and people kind of like him. But the moment he starts to speak himself, it goes a bit shitty. So the point I was making about this is this. Elon Musk is proof that if you're actually create good product, you can say what the fuck you want. Obviously, it helps that he's got fucking, you know, he's got more money than God. That obviously helps. But if the product is good, even if people don't like you, they will still put up with you because the product is good. Because, like it or not, I'm going to be saying it, I'll die on this hill. I think Twitter's much better now since Elon bought it, just because there's more crazies on there. Like that clip I played of you of that guy saying, if a girl doesn't give up the pussy for fucking £30, he's not letting her leave his house. You don't get that kind of content on Twitter unless Elon takes over. Do you know what I mean? Lots of people getting banned. So all the crazies that were banned on Twitter have all come back again. And I fucking love it, personally. So Twitter's basically been improved. The stuff he's doing with SpaceX is fucking amazing. The Tesla stuff that he's, you know, putting out there, even if it doesn't really move the needle and it's not environmentally safe and all this malarkey, just seeing these cars on the road is a fucking feat in itself. And it's, if anything, what Tesla has done has, I think, made the other car companies respond, and now everybody's got EV, right? EV was like a thing that people kind of scoffed at, but now most cars on the road, well, not most car, but most car companies have at least one EV car in their fleet, right? So I love seeing all that sort of stuff. So I love all of that going forward, and I think it's again proof that if the product that you do is good, most people will just ignore how much of a prick you are, because it's undeniable that Elon Musk is a bit of a dickhead, right? As much as I love the guy, he is a bit of a prat. Like, just objectively speaking, he's a bit of a prat. But the work is so good, you can ignore the pratness because the work is good. And again, no one's saying he's designing the spaceships. No one's saying he designs the cars, but he's the leader of these companies. So obviously, he has some involvement in there, and people appreciate the product because the product's fucking undeniable. And you can't say, again, you might not like the look of the fucking Tesla Cybertruck. I get it. But objectively speaking, seeing these things go down the street is going to be fucking wild. The only thing that's annoying about this is that most likely we won't end up having it in the UK. A lot of people have been saying that basically our road safety laws, it's funny, isn't it? The European and UK road safety laws are incredibly strict, way more stricter than you guys in the States. So we probably won't see a Tesla Cybertruck in the UK anytime soon. Like, it's fucking annoying. So whatever, but still, fucking beautiful pickup truck. I think so personally. Objectively looking at it, it's fucking amazing. I just love even the view of it from the top down. It looks fucking so weird. Like this, look at the amount of glass on the top there. Like, that just looks fucking incredible. And that shell casing that kind of retractable shell casing that goes over the back bit there. Like, it's just, I don't know. When it comes to a design piece and manufacturing piece and putting it together, and obviously manufacturing it to scale, the fucking steel that they had to make themselves, that they couldn't just buy off the shelf and shit. It's fucking a marvel, really, to be able to see it all in that detail. The only problem is obviously the prices are hilarious. Like, I think when Elon was doing the price thing on the presentation, I think originally specs was going to be like 40k, and now it's like 100 grand. It's like the entry price. So it's a big jump, innit? It came a bit late, and it's also incredibly expensive, but I'm eager to see them on the road, and I'm hoping, fingers crossed, going forward now, a lot of these other car companies will start making concept cars into production cars, because we just want to see cool, interesting stuff on the roads, man. It's just annoying when everyone has the same shape of car. It's all fucking boring. They're all white. It's fucking annoying. So yeah, Tesla Cybertruck, I'm loving it. I've changed my mind on it again. What are you guys saying here in the chat? What's happening here? The Tesla Cybertruck logo is kind of cringe. I quite like the logo. I'm not gonna lie, I like the logo. I think the designer Franz, right? Where is he? I think there's this designer Franz was wearing the t-shirt with the logo on it. I quite like the Tesla. It's interesting though. For instance, like, this is the clip. Look at this bit, right? So this is the first initial concept of the Tesla Cybertruck. Isn't it quite cool that the production car is very similar to the original concept? If anything, I quite like the original concept here. The back, the wheel arch at the of the rear wheel is kind of exposed, I really, really love it, I kind of like this exposed bit, but it's quite cool that the actual concept car looks exactly like the fucking production car. But the logo t-shirt thing, I quite like the logo t-shirt. What do you guys think? I quite like that logo. That's a Cybertruck logo. An interesting thing about it as well is that the Tesla Cybertruck doesn't have any Tesla branding in it. The guy in the review thing was saying there's no Tesla branding. It's just that logo here and Cybertruck, as well somewhere, but there's no Tesla logos anywhere on the truck, which is quite interesting. I quite like it, so I'm not gonna lie. What are you guys saying here? Careful with the Top Gear video. They might catch you a strike. Oh yeah, true. Okay, I'm gonna pause that. Very, very, very astute observation there, Ketamose. Appreciate you, brother. Coiler, I'd give AZ the bussy for a DoorDash and a cigarette. Coiler, man, you gotta fucking value your bussy a little bit better than that, mate. Fucking hell, a DoorDash and a cigarette. The crazy thing is, there's probably people out there giving it out for far less. A hot meal and a cigarette is fucking crazy. Giving out for a hot meal and a cigarette is fucking wild, but I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you as always. Yeah. I've seen Robert Minnis. I think Uche mentioned it too. The Nick Mullen special, man. I wish I could stream it at the same time, but I don't want to, he's doing his premiere thing, so it's a bit weird. But I want to watch it. I'm going to watch it out hopefully during the week as well. I'm going to watch it and do a little review of it. But I've really enjoyed, actually. Let's move on for this one. We had to talk about that. So I've really enjoyed watching Matt and Shane's My Secret podcast. I had a bit of a run while I listened to a few of them back to back. Watched Adam Freeland's show. Watched a couple of Tim Dillon's podcasts, which have been quite fun. And you know what's reminded me? There are actually good comedy podcasts out there. You just have to get through a lot of shit. You have to put up with maybe some dead weeks here and there, but there are actually a lot of really funny comedy podcasts. And I think what I might end up doing, especially with the random show stuff and maybe some clips, is that I might start highlighting a few of the things I've seen on their shows, which I think were funny, and clip them up and kind of react to them on here. Kind of like in a joke worldy type of thing, because as much as I love to shit on these guys, it is getting a bit boring. Like, do you know what I mean? We're all kind of getting really repetitive, right? Like, you know, psychoanalyzing these people who are dummies and not so funny is a bit boring, and I might just go the other way. You know, everyone's kind of jumping on it now, so I might just go and steer the other way and just start. You know what? Hey, let me talk about some pods that I've enjoyed, because especially that other guy, Joke, he doesn't really focus on. Joke doesn't really focus on Matt and Shane's My Secret Podcast, those type of dudes anyway. So I might just start focusing a little bit on that and talk about some of the clips that I liked in it, because the Tim Dillon podcast has been on the Tim Dillon show has been on a good 4-episode run, which has been really good, to be honest, really fucking good. It even started from that lady that he interviewed, that fucking pro-Israeli woman. That's fucking brilliant, fucking podcast. And of course, Matt and Shane's thing has been fucking good. So I might just start. You know what I mean? I might do a little pivot. I might do a little pivot thing, because I'm not gonna lie, I'm getting bored of myself. I'm not gonna lie, I'm getting bored of myself. How much more can you dunk on Brendan and shit? It's like, you know what I mean? It's like, it is what it is. And I come from as a former fan of TFATK. It's actually, when you actually dive into it deep, it's actually quite sad to see how far they're fallen, especially when you see people like Theo Vaughn and what he's doing, right? Theo's star is like ascending, right? And fucking, you know, Brian and Chris and Brendan are just like, they're just fucking going through the motions. So I might have to shift it and change it a little bit and mix it up, you know what I mean? But yeah, what you guys saying? Yeah, the workload, Alright, cool. So, so we did that. We did this. Let's move on again here. Let's do this one. So, actually, I need to get a tissue paper quickly. Bear with me 1 second. There you go. Okay, so let's go and talk about this. So, this clip is funny, right? Because I'm still, this is quite an old clip, to give it a bit of context. This is quite an old clip of Matt Rife on Tana Mogo's podcast, right? And I have to be honest, I don't know who said it. I think it's, maybe it's Uche. I'm not going to put Uche's, is it Uche? It might have been Uche, it might be, I don't know who it was in the chat. But somebody said, unironically, that Tana Mogo's podcast is actually quite fun to listen to. Like, it's just like a thing, you just want to turn your brain off and just listen to it. I might start just watching it, because it kind of, you know, just to kind of mix it up a little bit. It's kind of maybe interesting to watch. I'm not going to lie. But I'm surprised at how sharp she is. I'm not going to lie. I thought she was a bit of a dummy, but I'm surprised at how sharp she is when she kind of claps back at fucking Matt Rife in this exchange. And again, to give it some context, this clip is a bit old, but it's still perplexing that this is the mindset a lot of like comedians have when it comes to receiving hate online. I don't know if it's an LA thing. I don't know if it's an LA thing, a Hollywood entertainment industry thing. I don't know if it's just what happens when you become really successful in a very short space of time, regardless of your age. But this is a weird way to process when people don't like what you do, right? Really strange way. Listen to this. Please listen to this.
That's the thing. I don't really hate anybody. Here's a very humbling experience that epiphany that I've had recently. Because so many fucking people hate me for really no reason, and it really made me realize that like people only hate somebody they're jealous of. And I've been guilty of hating people, and when I really sat back and thought about it, it was because I was jealous of where that person was in their life. I felt like maybe they got an opportunity that I should have gotten.
That was a really, really good, well-rounded answer. I'm trying to wrap my head around. Do you think people who hate Osama bin Laden are jealous of him?
Yeah.
Honestly, like, what a weird way to process fucking hate. Everybody that's jealous of me, everybody that hates me is just jealous of me. Now, if you're looking at that comment literally, you would say, okay, fair enough. I'm sure there are some people out there that wish they looked like Matt Rife, that wish they had their physique, they had their skin color, they had his success, whatever. I'm sure those people actually exist. They do. Fair enough. But this idea that people can watch your content, watch you on social media, hear what you say, read what you say, and then think, you know what, not for me, and then for you to interpret it as they don't like you personally, because of your success only, is such a bizarre way to kind of look at things. But again, it's no surprise, because this is definitely something I've heard Tom Segura say. So I'm wondering if this is the consequence of him hanging out with Tom Segura, because for some reason, and I think it's not some reason, it's obvious why it happened, because obviously he's a young dude coming up in the scene and he's obviously star is ascending. Tom has really latched on to Matt Rife and become like his weird kind of, you know, mentor or something, right? And Tom has this idea in his head that people only dislike him because he makes a lot of money and shit, as opposed to like, hey, why don't people just not like you anymore because they think you're not as funny as you once was, or whatever it may be, right? Why is it always a thing about people just don't like you because of your money and success and ticket sales? It's such a weird way to kind of process and to kind of make sense of the feedback you're getting that isn't great. But I think it's a thing that kind of plagues a lot of content creators online. There's this inability to kind of understand how the internet works, and I think really and truly the internet is like, it's kind of it kind of is without sense and without reason. Shit just happens in a vacuum because it just happens in a vacuum. But usually if people smell blood, that's it really. So the moment they realize that things affect you and things get to you, they're going to keep doubling down on it. They're going to keep running with narratives. They're going to keep pushing your buttons just to get a reaction out of you, because why the fuck not? I said it plenty of times on the stream sometimes. Like, it's fun to just point and laugh at these guys because they take themselves too seriously. They actually think they're changing the world with their fucking ridiculous stand-up. And you're here thinking, hold on, like, you actually have real issues in your life. You have real drama, real problems, real struggles, real strife. And you're not online fucking crying and complaining every single day. Or even if you are, nobody fucking cares. And it's not really that deep. But if you can point and laugh at people who have much more than you, I think that's a fair deal. If somebody sat you down right now and said, hey, I'm going to give you the ability to be incredibly successful in your area of expertise, you're going to get a booming social media platform, the kind of platform where you post one pic and it gets 10,000 fucking likes. You post a video, you get 100,000 views. You have fucking ads coming out of your fucking ass, right? You have fucking people throwing themselves at you, whatever you're interested in, men, women, or in between. And the only thing you have to fucking, you know, the only thing you have to do in exchange is maybe put up with some hate. Put up people like me talking about you, maybe put up with some mean comments in your trolly comments in your fucking replies. I think that's a decent deal, really. You get to do what you want, live a life of luxury, but from time to time you might get the odd hate comment here and there. Is that really that big of a deal? And if you are that sensitive and it does hurt your feelings, you can always just block people. You could always just turn off your comments. It's not really that deep, really. It's not like things where it's literally going to affect you in the real world. It doesn't. Even if it does affect you in the real world, so what? You know what I mean? You got out of the fucking rat race. You escaped the fucking livelihood that most of us have to fucking succumb to and accept. Like, you've won. You know what I mean? You've basically won. You can provide for your children. You can support your family. You can look after your partner. Like, you can do all the things that you want to do with fucking ease, and you're crying and complaining because people don't think your stand-up is funny. It's so interesting. It really is. Even more so with this guy, because he's quite young, so you'd think he'd understand the internet more, right? He'd be a little bit more in tune with how it works and whatnot. And the reaction the way that he has been odd, especially when you think about he's been purposely trying to get a little bit of hate to get some traction for his special and shit, which has had the adverse effect. Have you noticed that? Have you noticed that? Him trying to trigger people with his special and goad people into reacting to it has actually had the adverse effect, because people have watched his special and realized he's actually shit. You know, that's what they realized. They realized that he's actually terrible, and it's actually made his star dim a little bit, which is obviously unfortunate. But I'm just hoping it's just like a young guy thing. He's kind of going through that weird change, because I think he did mention it in one pod that he actually went through a period where he wasn't selling any tickets, right? He was like doing shows for like 10 people and stuff, right? And this has kind of happened, I won't say overnight, but it's happened, you know, pretty relatively in a short space of time. So I'm hoping this is just him going through his like weird phase where he's just maybe getting used to the fame and stuff and the money and the success, and he might settle out a bit, because come on, bro, like, you have to relax a bit. You know what I mean? You have to relax. You have to relax. You have to relax. You really do. And I don't know, I think even if I was a stand-up, I honestly do think I would be somewhat objective about what I do, because I think there's a lane for everybody, right? The moment I saw Brendan selling out certain places when he first started, that's when I realized, okay, cool, stand-up is quite objective. So it's quite subjective. The things that people like, you might not like. But there's also different lanes, right? There's guys that do puppet comedy and stuff, right? There's guys that fucking do comedy with pianos and whatnot, or whatever it may be. So everybody's brand of comedy and what they find funny is different. If I'm Matt Rife, I know what lane I'm in. Be happy with that lane and just double down, bruv. Service your community. This whole thing of him trying to piss off mums and not have girls turn up to his show is so odd. It's such a weird thing. If anything, I'd be doubling down on it. If anything, he's the one that should be going on stage without a fucking t-shirt. Not fucking Bert Kreischer. He should be fucking going on stage without a t-shirt. That's what I would do. I'd fucking double down on that shit. I'd fucking zip line in with my body all fucking, you know, covered in fucking olive oil and gyrating on the fucking stage mic and shit. That's what I'd be doing. Double down on your fucking fans and give them what they fucking want, as opposed to trying to be like a real comic and shit. Like, it's odd. It's odd what he's doing at the moment, to be fair. It really is. But yeah, what can you do? Maybe it's just a young guy thing. Hopefully he figures it out in the end, because I think there is still something all right there. You know, there's embers of a good dude, if that makes sense. So hopefully he figures it out. And because I think my appreciation for him is just more so because he's one of the only people that I've seen so far in all my time watching JRV versus Bappaverse content who hasn't made it via Rogan. Like, legitimately, and didn't have to go kiss the ring to make it through him. And that deserves a lot of credit. It really does, because a lot of these guys and women are incredibly embarrassing when it comes to Rogan, right? They will literally give up their own children, right? They will miss fucking weddings, funerals of their family members to go and fucking sit across the table from fucking Rogan. And they do anything to kind of get his blessing. So the fact that he made it all on his own without having to kiss the ring really does, or give up his fucking pussy, really does deserve a little bit of acknowledgement in that respect. So I'm hoping he settles down and figures it out, because, you know, Matt Rife is wilding right now. He's fucking wilding. He needs to fucking take a deep breath and relax. Stop hanging around with Tom Segura. Get some of your own age mates, right? Like, enjoy life. Maybe do some fucking IRL streams with Sneeko and shit. Chill out, enjoy yourself, and go from there. Please, for the love of God. For the fucking love of God. But hey, what do I know? Next on the list, big up. Who I need to thank here? I need to thank, I forgot who it was. Sorry, whoever it was that DM'd me on fucking Twitter about this. And also big up. Who else? Big up somebody on the Discord too for posting this. But someone called Mark Random, who I know briefly from his time on Legion of Skanks. There was a period in time, I don't really know why this happened, but there was a period of time where this Mark Random character was all over Legion of Skank stuff. Like, really was all over Legion of Skank stuff. And then he kind of disappeared. So I'm assuming he probably fell out with them, but he was a kind of effervescent character that kind of appeared over there, right? So he posted this post on his Instagram and his Facebook and other places, kind of responding to the video that I did, or the clip that I made from my live stream talking about Zach AMICO, and the caption's interesting. So let's read the caption and go through it. So big up Mark Random, right? Big up Mark Random. So what's the caption say? Despite Zach AMICO's issues with me, I'm openly condemning social media accounts posting videos like this, cheering and mocking him over this. Guess I was one of the few that actually loved and cared about Zach in 2019. Off air, saying, dude, I know it's difficult life. He doesn't like punctuation, does he? Jesus Christos. Okay, dude, hold on. Dude, I know it's a difficult life. If you need someone to talk to, I'm here. Or, hey man, all your dreams come true. We all have demons you can get past to appreciate your life. Or, if you need help, I'm a phone call away. And then his fans mocked/hated me for it. I realized I didn't want I realized didn't want me to speak to him, and I left it alone for 4 years until this year. Still, I'm praying for Zach AMICO, Mark X, not random, and obviously all the hashtags with Mark. Now, I completely understand his response, and it's completely fair because he's a friend, right? He knows Zach AMICO, so seeing somebody like me, a random like me, pop up on stream or on social media, essentially berating his colleague, makes a lot of sense. Obviously, big up Asad Aziz, appreciate it for a super chat, brother.
Oz, the reason you don't understand Matt Wright is because you are a man with individuality.
Yeah, thank you as SRLC. Appreciate that, but I would say Matt Rife has some individuality too. I don't think I'm that special, really, to be fair. But thank you for the super chat, brother. I really do appreciate that. But yeah, I say Matt Rife has individuality too. I just know it's a bit, you know, it's never as easy as it looks, you know, to kind of handle that level of fame and popularity he's getting. I'm sure he's wanted it his whole life because he looks like somebody that was probably, you know, groomed to be a success in all manner of ways in terms of entertainment stuff. And I'm sure it's not a fucking overnight success story. I'm sure he's been working very, very hard in it. But in general, you know, there's probably more reasons why he's acting the way he does. And I'm hoping at the end, he kind of figures it out. So, you know, big up Matt Rife and his journey. And big up you, SRLC, for super chat. I appreciate you, brother. So going to what I was saying here, in short, I understand his reaction to it because my title of the video, the clip that I did, was a little bit, you know, clickbaity, to be honest, right? Zach Amico is very fat and Legion of Skank fans are very worried. There was obviously truth in my statement, but it's obviously a little bit clickbaity to get people to react to it and obviously click it. But if you actually watch the clip itself, I think, quite fair and balanced when it comes to this sort of stuff. Again, it's not really an explanation for it, but when I started off watching the clip, I think I started off basically saying, I think it's a bit disingenuous, right? And kind of performative, what people do this whole like fake, oh, I'm worried about this person sort of thing online, when they're really not, right? In general. And I still stand by that. I think there are people in your actual real life that deserve that level of concern and stuff that you should be concerned about, as opposed to fucking celebrities that you don't fucking know. Do you know what I mean? I think it's fucking odd. And if anything, he's a grown-ass man. If he wants to, you know, eat himself to death, let him eat himself to death. It's not a problem. I don't think it's a bad thing to, you know, to go out on your own terms. If his own terms he wants to go out on is eating a fucking Whopper at fucking 1 a.m. in the morning, let him do what he wants to do. And that's his decision. But then obviously having watched his content and watched him doing stand-up, I was like, oh shit, this guy's actually really funny. And I was like, you know what, maybe it would actually be a sad thing if he actually did die. Fair enough. But am I going to sit here and say I'll cry if he did? No. Would I care, really? Not really. I don't really know the guy. I don't think that's a bad thing to say. I just think it's an honest thing to say, you know? But I also understand if you're Mark Random, you actually a quote-unquote friend and you know him, I understand why you'd react that way. Because if I saw one of my friends getting trashed by somebody that looked like me online, I'd also react the way he did. You know what I mean? So I kind of get it. So I understand him defending his friend. I get it. The video I don't think was as bad as the title makes it seem as, but I understand why he was reacting that way. So big up Mark Random. I completely get it, mate. You know, hopefully Zach Amico figures it out, and hopefully all the Legion of Skank fans have Zach Amico around to do his good content and shit. So big up Mark Random. Moving on from my big ups, we have to play this clip as well because somebody tagged me in this on the Discord and a few other places. I was struggling to find the clip, but I found this utterly hilarious, right? So the guys over at 10 Minutes of Schaub are not fans of the Agostino. Oh, no, they're not fans of August, as they called me, right? So big up the 10 Minute of Schaub's guy, right? The 10 Minute of Schaub guys. They're not big fans of me, right? Which is understandable and okay, no problem whatsoever. But I found their analysis and their impression of me to be quite funny. I'm not gonna lie. It actually made me laugh. It actually legitimately made me laugh. Let me play the clip for you. So big up everybody that tagged me in this. You fucking guys are brilliant. But I found this clip super funny. So big up 10 Minutes of Schaub's guy. Let's play this, right? Let's play. Boom, boom, boom.
Okay, so the core attends.
Augustino.
You think is his name Augustino?
Is it?
August, isn't it?
Oh, Augustino is that one YouTuber.
Who's August? Oh, Zoinga. Does he talk about Will Smith?
But he showed up to Thanksgiving.
Right.
Yeah.
Because he just wanted to be I'm here to like catalog and like go through like Will Jada did this. I don't like music, blah, blah, blah. Shut up.
Jada, I heard she likes Augusts. Maybe she like Augustino.
I'm Augustino Zoinga. I'm some British guy, like. And he's like, no, I like being here. Thanks for inviting me.
They're killing me.
I hate it when Will Smith does music. I don't like songs. I don't like fun. Oh, no one knows who I am.
He said that he didn't like our songs.
Yeah, you told me that. I wouldn't have known that.
Yeah.
I would have been like, oh, that guy's great. And then like never have watched any of his stuff because it's just annoying.
But shout out to the Hawks in the chat that were defending us, dude.
Oh, people defended us on it? Oh, thank you.
We know it's redacted. That's what we try to make it redacted.
The whole point is that it's redacted and banned.
Yeah.
When people say it's good, we're shocked every time. So I won't say which song, but sometimes we're like, or some songs we're like, man, that one sucked. That's like the worst one we've done. And then like there'll be 3 or 4 comments like, best I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Dude. This one, you knocked it out of the park.
But that's
like,
a bit
thanks.
now. That has to be a bit now.
I don't think it is a bit.
No?
Some people maybe, but the comments I read seem very genuine. It'd be funny. I'm too dumb to realize that it's a bit. I don't think so.
There's weeks where I'm like, that cannot be your favorite song. There's no way that's your favorite song.
I know. You say that and I agree with it. There's no like, I don't think I should name, well.
Anyway, so you get the gist, right? They're not big fans of me. I think this guy more so than the other guy, but I get it. To be fair, I don't really remember what I said verbatim, word for word, about their songs, but I'm pretty sure it was very dismissive and very rude and very kind of matter of fact, because I just don't like comedy skit song stuff, right? I'm just not a musical guy. I don't like comedy skit songs. I don't like parody songs. I fucking hate it all. The only things I kind of like so far in the comedy space is a AMICO song. What else? The fucking DSP song that I played a few times, right, by Meerkat Mob, big up him. And that's about it. Most of them I don't really like. You know what I mean? I'm just not, it's just that kind of comedy or that kind of humor, that kind of content just isn't for me. Now that could be because, you know, I've been a DJ most of my life. I, you know, listen to music all the time. So my appreciation for music is not this sort of stuff. Like, I don't know. I'm not going, you know what I mean? I'm not really, I listen to actually, if I want to listen to music, I listen to music. If I want to watch a movie, I watch a movie. I'm not going to watch a comedy movie or listen to comedy music. You know, does that make any sense? No, comedy movie is not the best example, but I'm just not the target demographic for it. So maybe my dismissive comment about it was that. But I also don't think it was that bad to be like this, you know, to have your panties in twist this much. It wasn't that bad. If I'm saying I'm not a fan of it, I'm just not a fan of it. It doesn't really matter. There's plenty of people on their channel who love what they do. You know, they look, they click, they view, they subscribe and shit. They've clearly got a good thing going on there and stuff. So I don't really see why my comment would be really that bothersome, to be fair. And I love the bit where I think one of the guys says something like, oh, we know it's redacted, that's why we do it. It's like, so if you know it's redacted and I call it redacted, why are you then getting annoyed? Or why does it kind of get under your skin a bit that I said it was shit? It doesn't, it shouldn't really, that's a bit weird, isn't it? But hey, I get it, I understand. I thought it was funny. I thought it was a really good impression. I love the bit where they said, this is something like, oh, nobody knows who I am, right? So that was quite funny because I say that often sometimes here as well. So big up them for noticing that little kind of, you know, thing that I do. So that's obviously funny and stuff. But yeah, I think, you know, it's not a beef. I don't really give a fuck. Like, you know, it is what it is. I said what I said. I didn't like their thing. They said they didn't like my stuff. I also like the fact that I don't know why people do this a lot, especially if you make content. Like, and again, maybe because I'm just addicted to fucking YouTube and shit, right? And I'm always on my fucking phone. But I see everything. I watch. Maybe I'm not gonna check for it all the time, but I see everything. I've watched a unique stream. I've watched fucking Comedy Enforcement, you know, Too Lazy to Try, podcast. I watch everything. I watch it all. I'm not going to check it all the time. I watch it. So it's kind of like dismissive. I don't watch that. I don't know who he is type of thing. Like, I don't know why people do that. Like, in general, why is that a thing? Like, to kind of like give your point more credence. You pretend you don't know what someone. It's like, come on, man. Just you know what I mean. You don't have to be a fan. You don't have to fucking care about me or anything whatsoever, but to say that you don't know who it's fucking hilarious, especially when you say things that clearly show that you've seen something, you know what I mean? So it's like, whatever, innit? It is what it is. It is what it is. What can you do? I understand why they're upset. I get why they're annoyed about it, especially this guy, because he clearly is the one that doesn't like me the most, for sure. You know, he made that comment about me being annoying. He's probably one of the people in my comments to say like I take too long to play clips and I'm always talking over them. That's fine. We don't have to all like each other, but I think what you call it? Comedy reaction content. No, comedy reaction channels or comedy commentators, whatever, beefing amongst each other is super redacted. That is the most redacted, for lack of a better term, gay thing I've seen in my entire life, and I'm not going to indulge in it at all. It is what it is. I understand why they said what they said. I get it. So no problem whatsoever what they said. I thought it was actually quite funny. I don't have an issue with them whatsoever. I watch their clips whenever they come on my stream sometimes here and there. We kind of basically do the same thing, just going on Reddit and basically and kind of reacting to the fucking stuff that go on. So that's all well and good. So I've got no problem with what they do. So big up them. And yeah, man, it is what it is. You know, like there should be no beef between any of us, man, because we're all fucking redacted. We're all fucking losers, really, right? We're all fucking reacting to people who are at the moment far more successful than what we are, right? Living their life on their own terms, doing what they fucking want, and here we are fucking commentating about their shit, in our parents' basements with our fucking fingers covered in fucking Cheeto dust. It really isn't that deep, really. So to turn it into like a back and forth thing would be so lame, and I just, I don't really care that much, to be friends. I honestly find it funny. So yeah, big up the 10 minutes of Schaub. So big up 10 minutes of Schaub. Like and subscribe to the channel if you are on that vibe as well. I found their impression of me rather funny, to be fair. So big up them. Big up them. Moving on. Actually, what you gonna say here, too? Big up you. I ride with AZ and Fast. Yeah, ride with him. I don't care. There's no camps, man. This whole camp stuff, us against. I don't give a fuck. It's not that bother. Like, I watch everything. There is no camp. You know what I mean? I watch it all. It is what it is, man. So big up them. Big up everybody, included. AZ, they're dorks. No, I don't think they're dorks. It's just not for me. You know, the music that they do, just not my. It's not my. Again, the show is good. The whole show is fucking great. But this comedy music, I just never have, just not into it. It's not my thing, innit? Do you know what I mean? It's not my thing at all. And I think that's perfectly fine. You got fucked on her. Couldn't pay me to listen to those. Brendan Cooney is a dork. No, I don't think they're dorks, man. I think they're perfectly fine, man. Everyone's got a lane. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's got a lane to do their thing. Like I said, I think in the beginning when I used to do this stuff, I was saying like there needs to be a channel that just like focuses on all the good shit. It really does need to exist because I think it needs celebrating as well. And that's when, Joke World kind of popped up. I'm not taking credit for what they're doing. I'm just saying there needs to be different, things for different people. So if you like that sort of stuff, then more power to you and keep watching it. AZ, stand on business like King Harris. Nothing to stand on business about. It's just fucking dumb. It was a good impression as well. It was actually a really good impression, to be fair. It was actually really funny. Next topic, brother. Okay, cool. Andrew Tate dictating what I should say and what I should do. Okay, thank you, Andrew Tate. You're reminding me of my dad. Thank you, brother. We need a popular resurrection boxing match. I'll fight any of these TFATK mods. LOL, joke and lows. Yeah, big up. Anyway, cool. Moving on. So let's check out some stuff. Let's check out this video courtesy of one of my favorite actually channels that does compilation stuff, Retroactive. They put together a new one called the Brendan Schaub Paradox. Let's watch that shit. This looks fucking good. Let's get this bitrate down or quality down a bit because my computer's going fucking wild. So yeah, let's just watch the Brendan Schaub Paradox. This should be good. And big up Retroactive as well. Make sure you subscribe to their channel. They're fucking brilliant. Let's go. Let's do this.
What made you go and be like, all right, I'm going to go do stand-up comedy and go bomb forever?
Well, bomb forever is interesting.
The Brendan Schaub Paradox. On paper, he's a family man, a multi-millionaire, an ex-UFC fighter, a success by any measure. Unfortunately, his venture into comedy led to 2 of the lowest-rated specials of all time and began his descent to one of the most disliked people online. All public figures face constant scrutiny, but it's a rare and unique circumstance, even for a disliked comic, to become the face of a dedicated anti-fan base of 150,000 that parody his every word and mannerism, nor thousands upon thousands of videos.
By the way, going back to that Prime Energy drink Halloween outfit.
For a disliked comic to become the face of a dedicated anti.
Allegedly, he deleted this from his Instagram, but not his Twitter. I wonder why. Wait, say, oh, you want me to turn up the video volume? Okay, cool. One sec. It's actually turned up all the way, I'm not gonna lie. Let me add a filter on there. Bear with me a second. I'll add a filter and let's put it up to let's put it up to 5 dB. What are you saying about this? I'll put it to 5 dB.
fan base of 150,000 that parody his every word and mannerism, nor thousands upon thousands of videos that often get more views than he does on his own channel. So why is Brendan Schaub different? Well, he's funny to parody, sure, but the further down the iceberg, he isn't viewed kindly for various reasons. Nepotism, lying, joke theft allegations, rudely interrupting people, being adamant he's right when he's wrong about basic knowledge like Africa being a continent.
Africa is a country.
Basically, you can't spend hours a week on camera and be this loose.
I'm starting to get to a point now where I think, I'm starting to think now, was Brendan just always like this? Maybe he was never actually, maybe what actually happened, because I was a fan of TFATK when it started, right? Maybe when it started, they just weren't that well known enough. We didn't have enough information. We didn't have enough reference points. We didn't have enough content to, you know, micro-analyze and stuff, right? We kind of just had to go off what we were just seeing episode in, episode out. Maybe he didn't actually turn into anything. Maybe he was always that guy, but because we just saw more content, that's when we started to realize, oh shit, this guy's a fucking piece of shit. Maybe that's what happened, because I'm starting to believe that that might be the case. I don't think you turn into being someone like that in a, you know? Ah, see? My friend warned me in 2016. Robert Minas is saying. Okay, exactly. Even Doug, yeah, big up Doug the Flow. Thank you for joining, brother. Okay, so look at me figuring this out in real time like a fucking ape. Maybe he was always bad. Yeah, I know, I'm fucking dumb. Anyway, let's play this.
People will notice and turn you into a continuous meme that never ends. While Joe Rogan was just trying to help his friend transition from fighting to a new career, comedy is all about paying your dues and earning your place. Nepotism or an unearned position via connections without the talent to back it up always backfires. Tony Hinchcliffe and Steve-O, Joey Diaz, Tim Dillon, many publicly belittled Schaub's specials because he simply wasn't ready.
I was fascinated by the entire
The question is, did it have to be a special?
And would have never been in that position without connections / holding the record for the most appearances on DIARIES that became the biggest podcast globally. Here's another big reason. One cannot allegedly pathologically lie across thousands of podcasts.
Okay, to go over the nepotism thing quickly, I also think that was one of the biggest own goals Brendan ever did. That whole complete rejection of like I won't say the protocols, but the standard practice in comedy of like going to do open mics and earning your spot that way and then blah 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 and then working your way up, right? Just this idea that he could just take his podcast fame and then kind of jump some steps was insane. I don't think it's not his fault that his podcast was really successful and popular at the beginning and he got a lot of people turning up to his shows that probably didn't equate to the talent level or to the experience level, right? If you're like 1 year in, but you've got a popping podcast and you've got 1,000 people turning up to your shows, you know, it's not your fault you're not fucking Dave Chappelle. You know what I mean? It's just these guys like you for your podcast. They want to see you. But I also think he probably could have taken a active step to try to get better and do the right things and try to get that level of, try to get his comedy to match his fucking celebrity quote unquote status at that time. He completely didn't want to do that. He actually thought he was a unicorn. I remember there was old clips of him basically saying that route of going down the comedy route and doing open mics was not for him. That's other people's journey. My journey's different. It's like, not really, dude, isn't it? You basically shown that different journey doesn't work.
Cast without people beginning to turn against you. There's no better example than this.
He goes, my doctor said these are actually better for you. I go, they're not. He goes, how do you know? I go, Google it, dude. They're not. He goes, really? I know, doing the trash. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
The same way Brendan has to repeat exactly what Joe says back to him like a yes man parrot.
He's for real.
He's for real.
He also has to change his stories to be.
Yo, big up the stream chat. You guys are fucking amazing. I've seen this as well. Stina Goose says, I've been hating him since the Ultimate Fighter. He's always been a douche. Yeah, you see old posts of like, I forgot what forum it was. Maybe it was Sherdog or another one. There was another MMA forum that was really popular back in the days. And you see some old comments like from archive.com and shit, right? And it's like, raw, there were people that were like dunking and hating on Brendan since then on those forums, like calling it how much of a douche he was. So it was probably always there, to be completely fair. The MMA community knew about him from way back, but obviously at that time it was really small, really niche, so not a lot of people kind of really cared. But obviously once the MMA became bigger, UFC became bigger, he became bigger, then obviously the light will shine on him a bit more. But you can find old forum posts, like literally from the early 2000s, like talking about how much of a douche Brendan is. It's fucking crazy. Brendan's been, Dr. Flow, Brendan's been, George Carter, exactly, Coiler. Brendan's been trying to overcompensate since Travis Brown destroyed him in front of his ex-girlfriend, exactly. The Watcher, these interviews of him when he didn't have CTE and he could talk normal, but he still was talking about haters and could change their minds with a sit down and sit and talk and they would be fans. Yeah, exactly, I remember that too, I remember that.
Be the winner in the end to impress him. Joe was having none of it, and Brendan forgot that he'd already told this story with a different ending.
So he's like, who says that? I'm like, oh. Wow. He's like, my doctor says better. This is why he told me to start vaping. Like, but I don't think it is. And he's like, all right, man. And they just walked off. Never talked to him again.
Or egregiously lifting stand-up bits from Bill Burr's infamous rant about Philadelphia, but screwing up the delivery and thinking, yeah, no one will notice.
Balboa, tell me the real. Rocky is your hero. The whole pride of your city is built around a guy who doesn't even exist.
There's about 20 more decent examples where it feels like he's just watching classic stand-up sets and pulling a Carlos Mencia.
Why would it matter to you?
If Mencia's current career is anything to go by, this could be SCHAUB'S eventual end path if something doesn't change. Especially after Rogan said...
But I've heard that Carlos Mencia actually sells tickets. Is that true? I've heard Carlos Mencia does pretty well still. That's the actual funny thing about it. Obviously, it derailed his career a bit when he went up against Joe, but I've heard Carlos Mencia still does pretty well on tour and stuff.
That he needs a handler, not the best comic, but he's a good guy. SCHAUB'S ex-assistant claimed that Rogan was actually happy to be now further away from clingy SCHAUB.
He's picking up my car.
When you repeat these kind of behaviors for 5 to 6 years straight, you begin to lose support from all sides, and now searching his name leads to all sorts of viral criticism, even urinating in his sink at work.
Yo, big up Sarlux, Wagwan,
What a fun
Sarlux.
boss that'd be. But people would rather watch cut-up clips than actually watch his podcast, as his blunders are much funnier than the whole show. Add on top allegedly buying fake views according to his ex-assistant for his YouTube special, which can truly destroy your channel, as now YouTube would be recommending his videos to bots, and slowly your average watch time and ability to get your audience to even click the video begins to dwindle. While Callan publicly called out SCHAUB'S boisterous behavior in front of him.
I didn't know you were on Adderall.
No one did.
Right, but you would constantly, right, but you would constantly look up, and I never understood what was going on.
Most ignore his embellishments.
I do love how the Adderall arc was basically proven correct. That was another kind of prediction or guess that people made in the Find the Kid subreddit. People that have been kind of very good on the calls from Brendan from a while back. And don't get me wrong, it's not crazy because, he's a pretty easy guy to read. But it's interesting that a lot of these guys' predictions have been proven right. Like that guy's on Adderall. You know what I mean? And it was definitely proven right when all the fucking leaks came out and BJ exposed it.
Or strange moments leading viewers to be quite brutal in the comment section to make up for it, especially taking lots of detrimental substances together, hoping for mental acuity but probably just enhancing the chance of a verbal blunder and heart palpitations.
3 30-milligram Adderalls a day for
psychiatric
buying
help?
it.
No, he doesn't go to the doctor.
Yo, Cody Porter, big up you. Good comment here. I find him ridiculous. I don't hate him though. I hate Jordan Peterson Tate types. Papa is just an oblivious poser. I don't think that's. I understand what you're saying, but I think the Brendan thing, having kind of fall back a bit the last couple of days about what I want to do in terms of maybe pivoting the content away from covering this sort because it's getting boring. But I think the thing about the Brendan thing which makes it so hard to look away is that I just think there is, and maybe I need to read a book about it and find out what the actual term is and get a little bit more clued up on it. But there's something about somebody that you can see who is quote unquote successful, but in your eyes or in your head, you just don't think it's deserving. Like they're an absolute redact. It's just impossible not to not hate that person or not to not think they're a redact. You know what I mean? Or not to not look away. There's something about that. And maybe it's to do with the economy and, recession and inflation and unemployment. Who knows? But there is something highly offensive, I think, for like normal humans, civilians, to see somebody who just looks like they're undeserving of their success. And I think Brendan, unfortunately, embodies all of that. That's a problem. And he doesn't try to even hide it. He doesn't try to make himself better, or because I think there is a utility to faking it until you make it. there's a utility in it, right? In lying about yourself and buying views, buying followers to look a certain way. But I've always believed in the idea of, like, if you're going to fake it till you make it, when you make it, then become real, quote unquote, right? Work on yourself, develop your act, whatever it may be. But it seems like with him, he faked it till he made it, and then he's just like, nah, I don't need to do any more work. I don't need to go back and fix things or whatever. I don't need to, like, turn a new leaf. This is good. Like, once you got the introduction from Rogan and kind of got grandfathered in that way in some respects, or the golden handshake, stuff on the silver platter, or blah, 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 it's just gone from complete shit. So I think that's the main issue he has. And obviously, personality-wise, it's hard to like somebody when they always lie, right? It's hard to like someone when you think they're a bully. It's hard to like someone when they're always interrupting, when they're super unfunny. It's just so much about him that's just fundamentally, like, you know, people wouldn't like anyway. Like, you take little attributes of him and you put it in different people, like you split it across different people, you wouldn't like those people either. Do you know what I mean? But he seems to embody all of it in one person. So I think that's the major thing. So I don't think it maybe not as deep as like hating him as a human being, but he's just got so many hateable characteristics, personality traits. It's just hard to root for the guy. You know what I mean? It's kind of offensive to your intelligence and to your emotional EQ or whatnot to kind of just be like, okay, it's fine. He lies. It's okay. He embellishes. It's okay. He, you know, bullies. It's okay. You know, all this sort of stuff is just like, oh, it's hard to fucking stomach it. But, you know, it is what it is, I guess.
Dark web. Say that off air. Why?
And thus, the horrible cycle Schaub has found himself in continues. Bits like Mexican cookie being a cookie with salsa on it. His pretentious comment about homeless people and cats judging his work forming into what Brendan Schaub haters call themselves. So much of what Brendan has said over the years is repeated ad nauseum, forming a strange meme culture of, I don't know, Schaubisms or Schaub speak. Who knows what it is. With his anti-fans mimicking his words or
pronouncement.
Many celebrities have haters, but it is truly on another level with Schaub. Some get too personal about his family, which he claimed against YouTuber Unique. But he lost $500,000 and the court case to an alleged that represented himself, with insufficient evidence of stalking, harassment, defamation.
That again was another insane own goal, innit? Suing Unique was probably, on paper it looked like an easy fucking win, but the function of it was just so fucking dumb, because if anything, it was a fucking Barbra Streisand effect, right? In fucking 4K, like trying to sue this guy for basically clipping a section of the live stream where it looked like you were trying to cheat on your wife. Is like, what are you doing? And then that invited all the eyes of all these other big YouTubers like fucking Sir Moist and H3 and stuff to come dunking on him. It just brought him so much unnecessary attention and eyes that he didn't need. So it was really another epic own goal. He really is the, you know, he really, as much as Brendan likes to make it seem like the haters are the reasons for all of his fucking downfall and whatnot and the bad habits in his life, he really is the architect of his own misery, really and truly, to be fair. He's just way too much of a reader to realize it and change course.
Type claims he was trying to find against Unique for his coverage of public internet drama. When you're allegedly trying to sleep with woke or insane podcast hosts while married, you're gonna get the walk to your truck meme. When you claim Bobby Lee and Kalila Kuhn from Tiger Belly podcast,
I'm not gonna lie, I quite like that t-shirt.
Get the walk to your.
I quite like that t-shirt. I'm not gonna lie. That design's actually quite cool. I quite like that tee. I'm not gonna lie. I quite like that tree.
Truck meme. When you claim Bobby Lee and Kalila Kuhn from Tiger Belly podcast are running the subreddit that hates you, say you have proof and never show anything, it's a masterclass.
He definitely got scammed on that one, by the way. Whoever scammed him there, you done a great job.
And losing public favor. It's the unfortunate reality of being a media personality and being in the spotlight, but adding on top that you've become a meme and each day you only make it worse. Between that and the $1.6 million his management Cast Media and Colin Thompson just stole from him, I'd never advocate for handlers, but Schaub really might need one. Theo Von was also caught up in this theft, and he knocked back the offer to join the new company, as to him it was the same people who just ripped him off trying to convince him that shares in their new company would eventually pay him what he's owed. Using Theo's platform and fame to build another scam company, essentially. Schaub, however, took this offer, and the stock has fallen from $8 a share to $2.52 USD.
to be fair to Brendan, that was actually a good deal. He got the money he was owed, to be fair to him. He's never going to get that deal, or he's never going to get given that money from any other podcast network ever. What was it, like 1.6 million he got from that Podcast One company? So he got the money that he was owed to him, and you know, it's basically like, I wouldn't say it's free money, but it's money he's never going to get anyway in terms of ads, because unfortunately his podcast has obviously decreased in terms of popularity over the years. So it's actually a good deal that he took that, to be fair.
Business aside, if he truly worked at his craft, he could probably figure it out. He has the time and money for mentorship and growth to slowly turn the tide of public opinion, but instead it's just a daily impossible to keep up with tidal wave of why did you do that moments. His 1 million follower Instagram page even gets minimal engagement outside of deleted hate comments.
Yeah, and this is another fucking dumb own goal too. This fake it till you make it thing. That's when it comes to bite you in the ass. Like buying followers. Like, you buy followers, most likely Brendan's account, I would say, if it was real and he didn't buy followers or having, you know, in that regard, he might be up to like 500,000, you know, actual real followers. I could believe that. If he actually just grafted and just posted content on there, you know, whatever, tried to make it somewhat, you know, appealing to his fans, he could actually get 500,000. I'm pretty sure, especially with the amount of time he's been on Rogan and whatnot, and his podcast being successful in the beginning. But he wanted to look like a big shot, so obviously he wanted to get that 1 million, so he got it. So I would hazard a guess that most likely he bought like a crazy package, like a 500,000 package. That's why his fucking metrics are so horrible. He probably was on 300,000 at one point, or maybe 500,000, and then he actually bought a package of like 500,000 followers, and that completely screwed his fucking metrics and, you know, his engagement on his fucking Instagram account. And now it looks like he's got an Instagram that's got paid followers on it, because he hardly gets any engagement. The pictures don't get hardly as many likes as a 1 million account that's probably got legit followers. It's actually a real dumb move, really. But hey, what do you expect from him?
Comments and blocking people, but sometimes he even replies to his anti-fans. And to the surprise of nobody, he's the kind of guy that parks across 2 lanes, because of course he is, topped off by posting it on his story. Even in a small example like this, he lies multiple times. There are clearly other cars in the background. It's still daylight, so it's definitely before 5 PM. And sure, Brent's a space within a studio, which doesn't entitle him to park like a...
That's a really good way to kind of break down Brendan. And that's the thing that I've always been fascinated about. The lying about things that don't matter. This guy messages you, right? A hater, a troll, whatever on Instagram. You could easily just ignore it. You could send the smiley emoji. You could just double tap the fucking comment sarcastically and love it and move on. You don't need to explain yourself. But when he does explain himself, he just lies. So that's the thing that's really fascinating about the guy. He lies about things that he doesn't even need to lie about. Like, whose business is it how you park your car? However douchey it is, you can do what the fuck you want, right? They're not going to tell you to do anything. They can't force you to park your car or the way they want it to get parked, whatever. You could just tell them to get fucked. But instead, he says, I do. It's after hours and it's my studio. It's like, what? I fucking love him, man.
But it's not surprising, this is the same guy who said he could beat Prime Mike Tyson and that he's overrated, and then sucked up to him dearly for his appearance on Food Truck Diaries.
Who gives a f what Mike Tyson says, to be honest?
If Mike Tyson tells me something about boxing, I'm listening to Mike Tyson on boxing. I don't know why these young kids don't listen.
If it's not trying to piss Mike off, it's confusing him to death with ridiculous interruptions.
I'd love to see you fight John after.
Yo. The way Mike Tyson was just mean mugging him this complete time was so hilarious. And Brendan did not want to make eye contact with me. He just kept doing this, looking that way, looking that. He did not want to make any eye contact with Mike. It was so fucking hilarious. Like, to give you a little bit of brief background, there were, I think, what was happening? I actually don't know what happened. Why did she spark this? I'm not too sure if Brendan was making some jokes aimed at Tyson that he didn't like, or if maybe someone told Tyson the comments that Brendan said before about him, but something happened. There was a little bit of static, and then I think Tyson went to check the temperature, and he basically started standing in front of him as he picked apart the fucking, the fucking fruit platter in front of him. It was fucking incredible. I loved everything about it.
Africa, France.
Who the hell is John Africa?
The man just doesn't learn, reflect, grow, or realize that people will notice that you're wildly inconsistent. Thousands of podcast appearances to his name across so many shows, and he still regularly off his guest, host, the few fans he has left, and potential fans. People were much more favorable of Schaub in his fighting days or even in early podcasts, as ego is expected, and he hadn't inspired a whole Bible-length lore around himself yet. But as Tim Dillon pointed out, to see a man go from expert at strangling to expert at bad Mexican jokes, please laugh.
Oh, he's gay!
He has slowly alienated much of his original fanbase through years of silly behavior. The psychological intrigue of millions of online viewers wanting to see a public figure fall apart can't be discounted either. The human nature of watching a train wreck, it's horrible, but we can't look away.
1-year-old was eating Doritos at 6 in the morning. His grandma's like, what in the f? I was like, I don't know. He wasn't Doritos. Anyways.
Curiosity or the desire to witness the bad thing in whatever form is so we can understand it and hopefully avoid it ourselves. Add in today's parasocial, everybody's connected way of living being quite the drastic shift to what humans before us experienced. Now the sick intrigue is endless internet drama and whatever horrible dark web video is floating around on X that day. It's the only reason I can...
And I think that's actually a really good point, but I think the primary reason of it is like, I think some of us, even myself, you can't figure out how we fucked it up when it's like it's easier to get it right than to fuck it up. So that's actually another fascinating part about Brendan. It's like, if you just would figure it out and change his entire personality, which is obviously impossible, he could actually, be okay. But it's the refusal to just, do any of that sort of stuff and just go the opposite direction that just leaves you stunned. You're like, bro, you literally were gifted everything on the silver platter and you're still managing to fuck it up without even trying. It's actually impressive.
See as to why analyzing his blunders has led to so much interest online continuously for years now, but it's worth noting that many feel bad for the guy and think he needs help. There simply just isn't another comic or public figure alive who is as egregious on camera while being as funny to mock. Bert Kreischer's infamous pedestrian line is a great example. Anything perceived as pretentious by comedy fans will be mocked to death, but Schaubisms really take the cake. Usually apologizing destroys your career, but in Schaub's case, being more humble and owning things wouldn't hurt with his podcast audience. Some see the hate towards Schaub as overboard, and that his CTE from years of fighting is responsible for his vocal and behavioral blunders. A truly horrible disease, leaving once great athletes immobile, and with not all athletes paid well, some struggle to provide for their families in later years and are gone before their time. Hence Schaub's move into a lucrative industry without questionable UFC pay and head trauma. Maybe Schaub would be much better received by the public without suffering from this disease, as your original personality slowly is covered up by the immense changes that brain trauma can cause. If that's the case, it's both sad and a sense that maybe he shouldn't be talking for a living unless it's about fighting. Throw in a few mentors and slowly improving his comedy and maybe, just maybe, he could turn the narrative around. But the masses on the internet will never leave alone a topic they find funny to mock. Until then, his unintentional blunders are making people laugh more than his stand-up, so... the first reverse comedian?
Jesus Christ, yeah, it's not gonna happen anytime soon. Like Dr. the Flow said, let it change his entire personality. Lamau, exactly. Not happening in any way, shape, or form. Too much to change, no little time, and also there's no incentive to change as well. Do you know what I mean? He's already been successful this long anyway, being the way he is. Why would he change? There's no reason to do so. So I definitely don't see that happening anytime soon. But yeah, big up Retroactive. Absolutely banging channel. Make sure you subscribe to them. Let me show you the title of the video so you can see it. I'm sure most of you have seen it already. It's a Brendan Shaw paradox. Make sure you click on their video, watch it, check it out for yourself. It's fucking banging. It's fucking banging. Moving on. Let's do this. Let's quickly fucking recap or finish off the Adam 22 beef with TRELL and AD and stuff, right? And him waving a white flag. I find this absolutely hilarious, but obviously not surprising that Adam 22 has now accepted defeat. It's actually funny how quickly somebody's aggression, what would you call it? Combativeness changes online when they realize there's a threat of physical violence. It's unfortunate because in actuality, the whole beef is dumb, right? The whole beef that they're having is fucking lame. All these guys in their mid-30s, getting into their 40s with kids and shit, beefing over this sort of stuff is ridiculous, because in any of the day, they're beefing over a podcast, right? It's absolutely lame. But the fact that it's got here, it's actually funny to see that Adam 22 that was barking and, you know, talking about Smith and Wessons and banging on the table and saying that he's not afraid of anything and they have to show me something, all this sort of shit, is now the guy that's waving the white flag and saying, I don't want any drama. Please leave me alone, because he saw what happened to Desto Dub. And again, Desto Dub didn't even get touched. He got approached, he got intimidated, he got pressed, as they say in the States, but he didn't actually get physically harmed. But still, that alone was enough for fucking Adam 22 to say, no mas. Absolutely hilarious. So big up Chick Smooth for the recap. Let's watch this video quickly.
Yeah. No Chick Smooth in here, right? So whatever you say,
you know Chick gonna have everything up there.
Whatever you say, Chick's gonna be on YouTube with it, man.
Oh, nah, not the big 22, not the 22 stir. Adam, what happened, man? Don't tell me a little light full court press got you scared. Now, for months, Adam 22 has been going at AD, TRELL, and Pun, clowning them, provoking them to come at him, telling them that he's not scared, not really taking them seriously. Well, after this weekend, when Desto Dub was confronted by AD, Ace Pun, and his guys, Adam 22 is waving the white flag. That's correct. Adam 22 is now begging for forgiveness. Now Adam 22 has a show with Whack 100 on No Jumper. Make sure you guys go check it out. This episode was actually very good. Adam 22 started off the show by showing a timeline event for the feds leading up.
That's how you know you're scared, isn't it? When you put together when you write on a piece of paper the timeline of events to basically justify why you said what you said, or to explain the beef away, that's when you know you're fucking scared. Like, this is absolutely embarrassing, to be quite honest, especially when you think about the bass in Adam's voice when he was speaking about those guys. And again, you can say what you want on the internet. I'm a big believer in saying what you want to say to somebody and then also not wanting to fight them. You can do that if you want to. You can. But what you can't do, which is why I hate some people do, like Adam 22, and even Academics does it, they want to do everything. They want to say what they say, but they also don't want to fight, but then they also want to pretend like they do want to fight. It's like, no, you have to pick one or the other. You can't be the victim and the bully at the same time. You have to pick one lane. And the fact that he couldn't keep, you know, consistent on either thing, or he couldn't pick one thing, is the most annoying part. But I'm just imagining him pulling out a piece of paper and writing the entire timeline down to explain why it got to where it got to. I find that fucking hilarious.
Up to his beef with AD and TRELL. As you guys can see here, starts with the breakup in March and then ends with tensions flare after Act provokes TRELL. Now Adam admits that he misplayed his hand when he got AD and TRELL to stop talking about him, but yet he continued.
It's just the conversations that I've been hearing behind the scenes about how this could escalate, both from them on stream, but then hearing the private conversations going on amongst people on the No Jumper staff and everything.
And you have to also imagine, if you're Desto Dub, right, you have to be looking at Adam 22 another way as well, because that thing that he did about I'm not involved, it's nothing to do with me, when fucking when Pun and the ACEBOYZ and stuff pressed fucking Desto Dub after the Sexy Red concert, you have to be looking at him differently. You better be like, what the fuck is going on, man? I was just sitting in the studio laughing, keying with you, and now I'm getting pressed at after a Sexy Red fucking concert for a beef that I didn't even, you know, start. I'm not even a part of. Like, Adam is, oh, Jesus Christ, bro. You have to be careful of people like that. You really have to be very careful of people like that, to be fair.
And it just doesn't really sit right with me. I feel like it's on me at this point that I have to go out of my way to intentionally try and de-escalate this situation and acknowledge that I was in the wrong. Now, I'm not under...
Yeah, exactly, Stannis. You're right. He was trying to play the Academics playbook, but I think Academics, as much as I don't like his approach, and I think that whole, like, you know, acting like you're a journalist or a media figure, but then trying to bully or talk tough to people online, I don't like that, because, you know, you don't want to fight, but then you keep talking like you do want to fight. That's not cool. One thing Academics does that he does really well, he doesn't put himself in that position. Academics will never be at a Sexy Red concert. He's never going to be at these shows, especially in LA, where all these people are going to be after him. You know what I mean? He talks his shit online, and for the most part, he avoids all issues by not going outside or not being at the bait places. That's what he should have done. But obviously, you know, Adam 22 lives in LA. it's basically impossible for him to avoid these guys forever. There's gonna come a point where he's gonna bump into them, so he knows that. That's why he's basically waving the white flag, because he saw what happened to Desto Dub, and again, he didn't get touched, he just got approached, and he's picturing in his head, if that scenario happened to him, they would have definitely thrown a chair at his head. There's no way that he was not going to get hit. So he doesn't want any of that drama. So I completely understand. But it's just, why are you talking like the way you're talking to before? You know what I mean? Just chill and enjoy your life, bro. It's not that deep, really.
The impression that these guys are just going to like instantaneously forgive me and everything's all good. I know that this is going to be an issue for a significant period of time, but I'm just saying that I've seen where this is going. I don't want to be the one who's responsible for it. I'm going way out of my way to take the L, to just acknowledge
it's gonna
that
take more than that.
Okay, you're right, but I've made some bad decisions and all this, and I'm just saying I'm opting out. I'm de-escalating. They don't have to accept that.
They won't.
I'm just saying that from my perspective, I'm not going to feed into it anymore. I'm going to leave it alone. Obviously, they're still going to be on a hunt for my head and everything, but I'm acknowledging that I've made a lot of mistakes in this whole thing.
That sounds like police officer talk, isn't it? Like, it kind of sounds, again, as much as he's taking some level of responsibility for it and some accountability, which is a big thing, because one thing about Adam 22, he doesn't take accountability for anything, right? I still think his biggest crime, especially online, was the way he fucking treated House Phone with that trans person coming on No Jump and basically exposing his business and stuff, right? And the fact that he took no responsibility at all for allowing that person to come on his platform and not even vet it or not even look over stuff and edit out that bit where she said, you know, allegedly her and fucking House Phone had some sort of sexual activities and shit. Like, not accepting responsibility of that. If I was in those guys' shoes over at No Jumper, I would have taken that as a big kind of red flag, because him and House Phone were really cool. So the fact that he did House Phone that dirty should have been a sign for everybody that this guy's not to be trusted. So it probably took a lot for him to do what he did. But of course, fear can do a interesting thing to a man. Do you know what I mean? And he's really fearing for his family's safety, especially after what T-Ross said about beating up his fucking 4-year-old daughter. So, you know, he did the right thing, to be fair.
Crazy threats. Gang. And all I had to do was let them know that I wasn't scared. Haven't heard a peep since. Now they don't have anything to say about me, even though I've been popping my shit way worse than ever before.
Jesus.
Zerel was crying, like literally, actually, voice croaking up, tears coming down his face. It sounded to me like he was crying. I'm at Disneyland, so I'm not 100% sure, but he was crying.
Imagine doing this imagine being a multi-millionaire, you know, with your daughter in fucking Disneyland and beefing over this sort of stuff, like, and trying to add more fucking fuel to the fire when you know you're not really with it. Like, why would you do this? It was always a dumb tactic, in my opinion. I always thought it was a dumb tactic. Don't get me wrong. I still think there was a reason. He had every right to clap back and reply. I understand, especially after AD, TRELL, all those guys left No Jumper. There was a period in time when they were dunking on him, right? They were really trying to, and plus I think he went away to his honeymoon, so it looked like he was taking a break from the pod, and it looked like he was depressed or whatever, right? There was a period where he kind of went missing, and those guys obviously took a lot of joy in the fact that they were doing their own thing and they were away from fucking the white overlord and the culture vulture of Adam 22. But he should have got his leg back, said what he wanted to say when he came back, and then kind of left it alone. The fact that he tried to go back and forth with them and then tried to talk about physical violence and how he's not scared and he's got guns and he's got security, it's like, that's when you start, you know, all that tough talk is like, that's a bit too much. Then you go into tough guy territory, then you go start going into like goon territory, and obviously you're neither of those things. So it's like, why would you do that, especially with people that don't have much to lose, or they want to, you know, they want to prove themselves to people? It's just unnecessary, weird tactic.
And he said that he could beat me up. Are you fucking serious? Bro, you know those handicap signs that you see everywhere? That's you. You are handicapped. You only have one functioning arm. Even if you had both functioning arms, you weigh 96 pounds. You ain't doing nothing.
Look how
to
scared he's
nobody.
looking
This
around.
dude is actually delusional. And he fully admitted that he can't defend himself with words. Really just No Jumper reaction channels. Maybe it's just the creatine that got me going.
That defending yourself with words thing as well is so annoying, isn't it? When somebody baits you into replying by insulting you, and then you're like, I don't want to talk anymore, let's fight, and then they like use your words, it's like, no, like, we're men. Men at a certain point with a guy, there's only so much of back and forth you can do. either we fight or you just stop talking about me. Do you know what I mean? That, some people are not going to do that, fair enough, but them waving a white flag, it's like, oh, come on, Adam. Come on, bro.
But y'all been gone for like 5-6 months, and what do you got to show for it? 2 husky motherfuckers running after each other in the parking lot and a mixed drink show. What?
Mixed drink shows.
Y'all thought you could compete with me? Big 22? Hey, maybe you got it in you.
Mixed drink show.
I'm just not seeing any evidence of it. Hey, and since you are No Jumper reaction channels, I just gave you content for the next month and a half. $1 million each off one girl. And all my ops have never had 100,000.
Jesus Christ.
I put 100 racks on his head. He put a rack on me. There's an asymmetry. I'm going to teach you guys a new word today. There's an asymmetry. Do you know what an asymmetry is? Asymmetry means that these things cannot appear coinciding side by side.
Hey, Adam, there's an asymmetry between Desto.
Honestly, he's such a dick. He's such a fucking dick. And it's actually good to see. It's actually good to see him getting humbled, to be honest. The humbling was actually good to see, I'm not going to lie. Again, as much as if it was self-serving, as much as it was a little bit disingenuous, the fact that he did accept some responsibility, did kind of wave the white flag and said, hey, I'm going to de-escalate now and leave it, was good. But it's just unfortunate that he put Deso Dubs in the crosshairs. He had nothing to do with it. Yes, I don't think laughing should constitute you getting pressed, to be fair. I don't think that's kind of fair, but it kind of street rules are street rules. But the fact that he put somebody else innocent in the crosshairs was unfortunate, because imagine if that was somebody else from No Jumper. Do you know what I mean? Like, he put other people at risk because of his fucking weird war with these guys. And if anything, at the heart of it, I still feel like these guys deep down just miss each other anyway. You know, all this aggression, all this animosity really is because of a bit of frustration that they couldn't just work it out. Because there was a time when No Jumper was fucking booming with these guys. It was really fucking fun. And they kind of brought a new lease of life back into the fucking show and the channel. Obviously, at the time, they were kind of friends. AD, obviously, more closer to Adam than anybody else. But, you know, men don't really find a lot of friends in their, you know, older age. So the fact that they find all new friends and they were making money and stuff, that was fucking great. Yeah. And it kind of didn't work out. So I think deep down a lot, they just gutted, really. They didn't work out. And it's just shame that they couldn't figure it out. But to let it get to this point where you're going back and forth and threatening violence to people that you don't really want to have violence with, because they may have people that they know who are willing to crash out, was really dumb. And I think the fact that he saw it in full HD with Desto Dub, you're like, you know what? Desto Dub knows some of those people there. I'm sure he's given AD some free tracksuits and shit over the time. So he thought, hey, if they can do Desto Dub that way and he's black, imagine what they're going to do to me, being the white culture vulture. Do you know what I mean? It's like the white devil. He knew to wave the white flag, and I think it was the right tactic. And hopefully they kind of end and go back to doing content now going forward, because it was getting a little bit redacted anyway, how they were going back and forth, to be fair. I'm not going to lie. It was getting fucking redacted. So I'm happy it's over. I'm happy it's kind of over. I'm not going to lie. Quickly moving on from that one, I wanted to talk and highlight this. Where is it? Not this one. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Bear with me a second. Yeah, this. No, not this one. No, let's move straight away to the fucking Brendan stuff. Fuck all this shit. Bear with me a second while I get up on here. So, the Brendan Schaub stuff, right? So, update on that so far is that the baby's fine, right? I think the wife's baby, they've come out of the NCIU. The baby that was born premature is healthy enough to go home, and everything is fine in the Brendan Schaub household. But that whole drama was legitimately one of the most fascinating things to kind of observe from afar, to see how unbothered he was by the whole thing. You know, he just didn't seem to care a lot about what was going on with his wife and shit. And the current theory going on at the moment now is that most likely it's because he's not really he's not involved, or maybe the baby isn't his in some weird way, right? Because I think there's some suggestion that that baby might be an an IVF baby or something, right? Whatever, who knows? But I just think that's just the way they are. I don't think it's even that deep. I just think that's just how they are as a family. It's just a bit strange dynamic wise to see that he doesn't seem to really care as much about his newborn daughter as he does about his 4 trucks and shit, right? So let's play the clip here. so you can see what he said. He speaks a little bit about his, you know, about his Thanksgiving, having to eat turkey by himself and stuff, but I find it fucking incredible. Let's play this here. The real tragedy is that he missed out on dry turkey. Let's play this clip.
Now, I spent Thanksgiving by myself eating a large pepperoni pizza.
Have we not talked about Thanksgiving?
We haven't been in here in 7 days.
So weird.
Longest break I've ever had.
You ate a pepperoni pizza?
Because my girl had the emergency C-section unexpected. Shit hit the fan. So I spent most of the time in the hospital. I had to go back to get all her stuff because we just rushed out of the house. So I go back to the house. And she's like, well, don't rush back. Everything's fine here. And the boys are at their grandma and grandpa's. She's like, get the boys and just, you know, do Thanksgiving at home. Okay. And the boys were busy doing something. So I was just by myself. Nothing to eat. Ordered a large Domino's piping hot pepperoni pizza.
I just realized
I thought it'd be cool.
You had no Thanksgiving.
No Thanksgiving.
Joe was in the hospital.
I thought it would be fun. I was like, oh, I've always wanted pizza on Thanksgiving. It was sad.
That's sad, dude.
Very sad.
No turkey. So
it was a tough time.
Yeah. Well, what's fun?
So the tough time wasn't his wife being in an you know, having an emergency C-section, or his kid being born premature, 4 weeks old. Oh, you know, 4 months. Sorry, 4 weeks. 4 months. 4 weeks premature. The real tragedy was the fact that he had to eat a pepperoni pizza by himself. But did you notice the little bits in there where he said, his wife told him to go pick up the kids at their grandmother's house, but he didn't want to because they were already doing something there. Again, I don't think it's as deep as some people think, that, you know, they're not loving relationship, whatever it may be. I just think if Brendan could have an option not to hang out with his family, he would take it. And I think most comedians are like that, to be fair to him as well. I think most comedians are like that, which is why there's only a few of them who actually talk quite glowingly about their family and about their wives and partners and stuff. For the most comedians, I think, if there's an option there to not hang out with their family, he'll take it. And he saw an easy option there. He could have easily drove from the hospital to his, mother-in-law's house to go pick up his kids. But he thought, you know what? Let me actually leave them there and act like I'm doing a good thing so I can be by myself. So he's acting like he was upset, but he's actually quite happy that he had some time on his own. You know? He was actually happy he could be by himself, because he said plenty of times he doesn't like his Mexican side of his family. He doesn't like Mexican side of his family whatsoever, which is really odd, because again, like I said before, I've always met people who are into, like, you know, guys who I know who are into like women from other countries and shit, especially hot Latinas, are usually into them because they're also into the culture. Or maybe they get into the women and then they love to go visit the country. They want to learn the language. They want to fucking learn the music, eat the food, whatever. But he clearly does not give a single fuck about Mexico, Mexicans, or the Mexican, right? Zero. Any kind of Mexican, he doesn't care. He doesn't fucking care. He probably hates Mexicans more than he hates black people. I think they're probably 1 and 2 in the list of things that Brendan hates. Mexicans and blacks and maybe homeless cats are definitely in the top 3. He fucking hates them. So if he could avoid going to his fucking mother-in-law's house to go pick up his kids and having to fucking walk in their home and smell the Mexican cookings and have to pretend like he doesn't understand having to be, you know, pretend that he doesn't affect him, doesn't understand Spanish. Because I think that's also a big thing. The fact that he lives in his house and he's basically a foreigner in his own home. Because think about it, right? If most likely they have help, most likely they have nannies and all this stuff at their home, right? I'm imagining, right? Standard like LA kind of family where they, you know, online you pretend like you're the super mum, but you have all this help behind the scenes. Who do you think the nannies are? What part of the world do you think that they are from? So you can imagine the hired help are all Spanish speaking, the family is Spanish speaking, and the extended family are Spanish speaking. So Brennan is a legit foreigner in his own home, and he's also somebody that refuses to learn. He's like one of the type of people who's like, oh, I'm 40 years old, I can't learn a new language type of guys, right? So he's not even going to try to learn the language. So he's probably sitting in that house with kids that are bilingual and a family, you know, that if they could speak Spanish, why not speak Spanish, extend his family? And he sits in that house probably quite quiet. He probably talks less on his own home than he does on the podcast. And it wouldn't surprise me. The only time he actually gets to speak his piece in English is when he's recording his podcast. Because when he's at home, no one's speaking fucking English there. The hired help aren't. The cleaners aren't. No one. The guy that does the garden isn't. None. Zero. The extended family isn't. So it's no surprise that when he's given a chance to be by himself, he will fucking run to it. So that's what I think basically happened. I don't think it's a representation of like their relationship and stuff. I just think he just does not like the extended Mexican family. He just doesn't. And this is a good example of it. This clip definitely shows you that he's just not fun. He's just not fond of the Mexicans, mate.
The president of Mexico. Oh, that's why, because you're also, your wife is Mexican and your kids are half Mexican. I just wonder if
I don't touch Mexico.
I don't know that. I don't.
It's Andres.
Last time I remember was Vicente Fox. That's all.
It's El Chapo's kids.
National president of Mexico.
I'm not sure. He just doesn't give a fuck. Honestly, I should appreciate how unapologetically much of a hater he is about it. And again, I would love to get to the genesis of why that is. Like, why exactly is the Mexican thing such a bugbear for him? Why does he hate it so much? Like, it's so odd, because when I think of Mexican culture, I just think of like big, happy, you know, outlandish people. Do you know what I mean? Smiles on their faces, always laughing, family always around, great food. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, how could you not like that side of your family? Why wouldn't you want to embrace that? Especially if you're from like a very traditional, quote unquote, Caucasian family where everyone's kind of for themselves. Being with a family, being with a group of people who only look out for each other, who will do it, you know, whatever it takes to fucking make each other happy, will give each other fucking their kidney if it meant, you know, that they're going to be happy and stuff. Why wouldn't you want to embrace that? It's really odd that he doesn't want to do it, but hey, you know, his life, what can you do? The video that I thought was hilarious about this whole thing, though, the video that I thought was fucking hilarious, that really made me laugh, was this one. This is the video that legitimately made me think, oh shit, this guy actually hates his family. Because I think, if I'm not mistaken, this video was filmed around the time when his wife was in the hospital. No, around the time the kid was still in the NCIU, right? Born 4 weeks premature, and Brendan just like was like, you know, you would never guess from the content online what he was going through in his family. He was fucking loving life. Look at him loving life in his fucking Ford Lightning.
Well, today's the day. I made it to Addiction Motorsports. Been swamped with other things going on in my life, but
other things, he means his kid being born 4 weeks premature and his wife having to have an emergency C-section. That's what he means by other things, by the way, in case you're wondering.
today's the day. Dropping the Ford Lightning off at Addiction Motorsports with the wrench master, the tune maestro, Eddie. He's worked on a ton of Lightnings. If this guy can't figure out, your boy's screwed, but I have faith in Eddie.
Also, please, for the love of God, how... Again, I've never Googled this, or I don't know what the deal is, but I'm sure there's a science to cutting your mustache, right? There is some sort of like method behind it in terms of like where you let it extend to. But I'm assuming the crevices along here from your nose that go down, maybe that's where you probably stop at a point. Or if you wanted to go drag a bit deeper, if you wanted to go a bit longer, maybe connect about here. But there's usually, I think, a science to it. But the common adage should be you try and make sure that both ends are somewhat the same length. What is it about this guy's inability to fix that side? This side seems to be okay, what's his left, but the right hand side, he just doesn't seem to get it right. It's always longer than the left. Why is this? It's always like this. Whenever he cuts his mustache, he can't seem to get that side right. That side's always long, that side's always... I wonder if it's just like his inability to fucking get his hand across his fucking face or something with these clippers. It's such a weird mistake to always continually make. And maybe it's me and I just love symmetry too much, but when I see it, I can't unsee it, you know?
Took it to the Ford dealer. They couldn't figure it out. They probably could, but they got a bunch of other broke Ford F-150s and Mustangs. And
also, imagine taking a modded 20-year-old car to the car manufacturer and asking them for help. And I think Coyler's right. I think Coyler says something like, he thinks that Brendan's on a self-deprecation thing. I think that's kind of true, because I'm also not really understanding why he's... what's this whole like leaning into the fact that he's bought a lemon? You shouldn't be that proud about it, because why would you fly all the way to a location to go pick up a car but then not test drive it? it seems so asinine, so backwards. Like, surely if you're not going to test drive a car, don't fly over there. Just see it sight unseen, or buy its, you know, sight unseen, whatever, right? Why would you fly somewhere and not test drive it? It's so fucking weird.
Explorers or whatever the hell they're working on, so they couldn't get it done. All good, so here we are. So we're gonna find out today. It's heartbreaking, man. You buy a truck that you've wanted since you were in high school. This has been a goal for quite some time, and it looks like Tarzan but drives like Jane. I'd get starched, I'd get gapped by a freaking Prius right now off the starting line. So it's heartbreaking, man. We're gonna figure out today. My boy Eddie's gonna take care of it. Hopefully it's a simple fix and then the fun can begin. But if it's the transmission or some other major issue, this becomes a much more difficult project and not as fun and exciting. So we're gonna find out today. Keep you guys posted. Come on, Eddie.
Look at the smile. Like, have you seen him smile that way? Look at this. There's another way as well. Where is it? Look at that smile. Look at that. Have you seen this guy smile the way he smiles when he's talking about his fucking truck? Have you seen it? Look at that. Look at this. Look at the good news. Look at him when he's happy when he got the news. Look at this.
News. I'm so excited. Good news. The wizard Eddie at Addiction Motorsports. This dude jumped in my Lightning, drove around the block. He's like, oh, this is easy. It's your you're running lean. It's your fuel pump. It's your spark plugs. I was like, yeah, but let's like open the hood and do your stuff, you know, and let's make sure. He's like, no, I'm positive. I've seen enough of these things. That's what's going on. We bring in the shop. It's exactly that. It's running lean. The fuel pump's bad, and the spark plugs are gapped wrong and they're misfiring. So it's not a huge deal. We'll be able to swap this out. We just gotta get the parts from LMR, Late Model Restorations, and then this bad boy be back to running like Tarzan, not Jane. So couldn't be happier, man. So Eddie's the man, and then now it's off to the races, and the plan is to get this thing at 600 rear wheel horsepower.
I've not seen him smile this genuinely about his kid that just been born. It's so odd and so bizarre, but again, it's just constant thirst to find a relationship, find a personality that's just so funny to watch. And I've read some comments online, and basically people are saying, actual car guys are saying, if you're a car guy, you would have also known that the spark plugs were the issue if you just would have test drove it and knew what to look for, or what to hear, or what to kind of notice, what to kind of keep an ear open for. And the fact that he didn't, he had to go to a fucking garage or do this whole kind of world tour with these fucking Ford Lightning to then find out that it's the fucking spark plugs. It's quite embarrassing, you know? That's the problem that he has. Like, it's actually a weird thing, and I think Coyle was right. I think there is this weird thing that he's doing with the car thing where he's trying to lean into the idea that he's not fully saying he's not a car guy, but he's also willing to kind of learn in real time. But the thing that he's trying to learn in real time or learn in public, from what I've been able to see, are just the basics of like being somewhat into cars or understanding how cars run or what to look for when you're buying a car secondhand and shit. And the fact that he doesn't know anything about this is so interesting and so weird to me. But yeah, what can you do, man? This guy is fucking special. Again, always fucking hilarious to see it. And it's just another one of those things, isn't it? It just felt like the other day we were seeing him on fucking e-bikes, right? On the LA trails. Now all of a sudden, it's truck content all over the place. It's fucking hilarious, bro. It really, really is fucking hilarious. But yeah. Let's move on. What you guys are saying in the chat? Papa equals Pedro Pascal of Comedy B. Nah, Pedro Pascal is actually he's actually got some level of talent, I think, especially when it comes to, you know, acting and shit. He's decent enough, especially in other roles. What was he good in? I thought he was was it Narcos he was in that I thought was really good in? Was it Narcos? Yeah, Narcos. He was really good in Narcos. The other roles so far haven't been that great, but Pedro Pascal has actually got good, you know, performances under his belt. Maybe his career's gone a bit, you know, wayward since then, but he's definitely got some way more credit in the bank than Brendan for sure. For sure. Let's move on from that one, and let's do the clips that, the fucking post that fucking startled me when I saw this, right? Because I legitimately cannot believe that this person posted this on their fucking social media. Let's see if I can get it up. I've got so many things on here. Bear with me a second. Blah, blah, blah. But if you're watching this and you're enjoying the stream, please make sure you're liking it down below. That'd be greatly appreciated. Please do that for me. So, Brendan's wife wanted to let everybody know online that she's fine and everything is good. And then she decided to do the whole like question Q&A thing on her Instagram stories. And interesting decision, to be honest. Interesting decision, especially when you know you're the partner or the wife of someone like Brendan that's obviously hated and shit. You should know you're going to get a lot of trolly comments on there. Fair enough, it's a Q&A thing, so she can answer what she wants to answer. Fair enough. But it's a bit of a weird thing to invite, especially when, the amount of hate Brendan gets and some of the stuff that goes at her. Whatever, she did it anyway. But this might be one of the most funniest parts or the funniest things I've ever seen in my entire life. Because when I first read this, when I saw it on the Find the Kids subreddit, I was also kind of confused. I was like, hold on, I swear, again, and I know somebody that remembers the characters' names on shows. Like, I couldn't, name you a character on fucking, House of the Dragon, right? But I remembered the majority of what I watched. I know the plot points or whatever. But I would know what wasn't their name. I would probably recognize what wasn't their name, but I couldn't name the name offhand. Cool. So in this case, when I saw this post, my brain was broken a bit because I was thinking to myself, hold on, that character's name in fucking Stranger Things isn't Billy. I'm pretty sure. So this post is courtesy of the Friday Kids subreddit. And look at this, right? She asked a question, right? So somebody asked a question on her Instagram and says, where did the idea for the name come from? Oh, where did the idea come from? So the daughter's name's Billy. And Brendan Schaub's wife replied like this. I love the character Billy from Stranger Things. She had the best personality and such a cute girl. She really inspired me. And then posted a picture on top, a little sticker of the character from Stranger Things that Brendan Schaub's wife think is called Billy. But even I, a guy that doesn't remember names of people in shows, I instantly knew that character's name wasn't Billy. I was thinking to myself, hold on, did she mix up Billy Bobby Brown or Millie Bobby Brown? I think it's Millie Bobby Brown. Sorry, Millie Bobby Brown, and confuse her name for this lady's name, or is she thinking of somebody else completely? And then I realized that actually, if I'm not mistaken, the brother of this girl in the series, who starts off being a bit of a antisocial, grungy, bully type of person, and he ends up kind of dying a fucking hero's death at the end, his name is actually Billy in the series. So she's naming the daughter after the guy in Stranger Things who's the bully, but then she's also mistakenly remembering it and thinking the girl in Stranger Things called Max, I think, name was Billy. It's so fucking perplexing and so fucking bizarre. And the funny thing about it was that everybody obviously on the Find the Kids subreddit fucking called it instantly, right? When it happened, right? They fucking called it out instantly and everyone was going crazy about it. And if I'm not mistaken, she deleted it. She deleted this part of the fucking Instagram story and took it away. So I'm sat here thinking to myself, what happened? I think most likely, in life, I think you have to have the ability to have, it's just dumb thing to say, but I think sometimes it's important to attract, like for like. So I think in this case, Brendan and his wife are actually made for each other, because I think they're pretty much the same person, personality wise. And I think what she tried to do here was lie, but there was no need to lie. She wanted to create a story, a meaning behind the name Billy that you chose for a kid, which I don't understand why you have to explain it to anybody, right? You can call your kid a fucking ruler. It doesn't matter. It's your child. Name them what the fuck you want to name them. It's no one's business. But because they want to appear a certain way, they want to, big up Martha in the chat. I just can't understand. No, sorry. I can understand the lie, but I just can't understand why they like this, because this is so unnecessary. It really is unnecessary. No one cares. It's no one's business why the kid is named fucking Billy. But the fact that she tried to lie and create a sort of backstory for the name to give it more credence is really driving me insane. Big up Uche. I wonder if Mexican doesn't know all her kids were named after Tripoli's kids. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Honestly, it's so fucking insane. And I just love the fact that this was cool instantly, and she instantly deleted it as well. So this isn't anywhere near her fucking Instagram stories, but it's fucking hilarious that she completely mixed up or botched the origin story of the name, and then I think tried to change it to something else. I think I've actually got the fucking screenshot here where she said she put like a different fucking quote and changed it. Yeah, here it is. There it is. Look there. So I think she made an update on the post, right? And basically copied what Brendan said, I think. So this is the post that she put up originally on the Instagram stories. Want to know about my early delivery with Billy? Where did you get the idea for the name? I love the character Billy from Stranger Things. She had the best personality and such a cute girl, and she really inspired me. Obviously, everybody called this out, and I guess her DMs were basically getting torn. She was getting torn apart in her DMs, or maybe Brendan maybe noticed it and told her to fucking delete it. And then she updated the fucking reason behind it and said this. We love unique names, and I also like boy names for girls. I had Billy in my mind since I got pregnant. Isabel from my grandmother who passed away in 2020. So she made up a story that lined up perfectly with what Brendan said. But why didn't you just say this at the beginning? Why did you say this then? If this was the case, why did you say that thing about naming it after a character in Stranger Things who's called Billy, which is the wrong person that you put the picture of? It's fucking insane, really, to be fair. Like, it really is. Like, I love everything about it. I swear to God, man. Martha was like, I named my Billy after Kaylee Kuko's character in Charmed. Rogan hates him and says, here, Doxy Flow, Boston, that's a corny as hell. Yeah, the Boston name and the Tiger name is just like the Boston name for me. More so the Boston name. The Boston name more so is the one where I'm gonna die on that hill, and I think he named his kid Boston after Rogan, because Rogan's from there, and Rogan talks so glowingly about coming up there and doing stand up and how hard it was and the harsh winters and all this sort of shit, right? You know, Rogan kind of eulogizes that whole period of his life, and I think that's where also he did that whole like I went in construction, doing roofing, working in the sun, all this sort of stuff. So I think Brendan obviously loves Rogan, and he loves that story, that origin story where Rogan come from. So I've got a feeling that's where he basically got the name from. And again, there's nothing wrong with the name Boston. It's just that you're naming your kid after another man. It's like that you just met. It's fucking wild. To be fair, do you know what I mean? Like, name your kid whatever you want to name it, but then, you know, lying about it is fucking crazy, to be fair. The Tiger name, I don't actually know where that came from. Did he explain where that came from? I don't think he actually explained where Tiger came from. I just think he wanted a different name, innit? Just to kind of be Hollywood and shit. So, again, Tiger I don't have an issue with either, to be fair. Again, name your kids what you want to name them, but it's just the unnecessary lies that legitimately make me laugh. Yo, big up Sarlux, appreciate you, brother.
Peace, power, and love.
Big up you, Sarlux, appreciate you. Thank you for joining, my friend. Thank you for joining. And thank you for super chat. Appreciate it, brother. But yeah, what are you saying here? Boston's way better than Tiger. Yeah, I think they're both quite good names, to be fair, for kids. I don't really have an issue with, you know what I mean? I don't think there's any problem at all with what you call your kid. It's your fucking business. I just find the whole fucking wanting to have it's almost like people that when they get dumb tattoos and they want it to have meaning, you just make up a meaning. It's like, it doesn't matter. You could get a tattoo whatever you want. Like, it's just unnecessary to create like a fake backstory to make you appear a certain way. But again, these are people who are obsessed with their appearance, so it makes sense why they'll do this. Most random names possible. Exactly. Tiger is a silly name. Did he call her Billy so that they can call her B too? B? Scott Ritchie. That's actually a good point. Did they call her Billy so they can call her B? So there's two B's. I don't think so. That'd be kind of dumb. To be fair, I don't actually mind. I actually think it's quite cool when girls have like typical kind of quote boys names, right? I think that's actually can be quite cool to have that sort of like, you know, mix and shit. But again, it doesn't really matter. There's no point even trying to talk about why people pick names for kids. It is what it is. You can name your kid, your pet, whatever you want to fucking name it or name them. It's just the fucking unnecessary lies that just fucking, you know, make me laugh so fucking much. I love everything about it. But yeah, what can you do about that? What can you do about that one? Moving on from there. Let me play a couple more clips here that I've got loaded already. Boom, 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 boom. We got this one. He keeps forgetting about allegations against Chris. Yeah, this is fucking great. I love this also. There seems to be a running narrative around Brendan, isn't it? He says stuff to Chris where he probably shouldn't say it considering the allegations against him, but let's play this clip quickly.
Okay, well,
Can't
in
hear
the
you.
meantime, I've got transition lenses, and I can't wait to get that Tony Stark shit going. And when I do, it's on, dude. The 55-year-old ladies are going to be like this.
Mr. Fantastic.
Oh my! I do declare.
Yeah.
55-year-old ladies.
Well, I mean, once I get the gray hair, yeah.
It's who's attracted to it, or really young, you know, like college ones
Right.
who don't have dads.
Yeah.
Or really young, you know, like college ones.
Right.
who don't have dads.
Oh my god. Oh my god. It's almost like he kind of realized halfway when he was saying it, but he's so redacted, he kind of just went with it anyway. Do you get what I mean? Let's play it one more time. That's actually kind of insane. He kind of, because I've always had the opinion that Brendan just says stuff because he's too lazy to correct himself. But I think he actually realized midway of what he said, but he just went, let me just say it anyway. Which is a wild decision because that's his friend. Fucking hell.
Can't
in
hear
the
you.
meantime, I've got transition lenses, and I can't wait to get that Tony Stark shit going. And when I do, it's on, dude. The 55-year-old ladies are going to be like this.
Mr. Fantastic.
Oh my! I do declare.
Yeah.
55-year-old ladies.
Well, I mean, once I get the gray hair, yeah.
It's who's attracted to it, or really young, you know, like college ones
Right.
who don't have dads.
Yeah.
Or really young, you know,
Right.
who don't have dads.
Yeah.
He looks over at Eric. Look over at Eric. He was like, I fucked up, didn't I? I did an oopsie. I fucked up, didn't I? Oh, I fucking love it. You know what? Also, this shows how disingenuous they are, and this shows how fake they are. Because if they actually, as much as I detest the fact that they're fucking platforming an alleged pedophile, if you're gonna ride with your guy and make fun of it. Like, talk about people that do fake allegations, go in on the fucking Diddy thing and say, I don't believe fucking Cassie. Like, ride it until the end. Like, put your fucking flag in the ground and say, I'm for the abusers. I'm for the pedophiles, right? That's what you should be doing. But instead, they avoid talking about certain topics on their show because of the Chris allegations. And based on how Brendan said what he said there, it's clear that that's a bit of a, you know, it's a bit of a sensitive subject. They can't be speaking about it. So maybe deep down, it's proof that they believe it was probably true, what happened, the allegations about him, but, you know, they just looked the other way. That's actually the weird thing. That's actually the weird thing about it, you know? That's actually the legit weird thing about it. Fucking hell, bro. Like, one more time. That was fucking brilliant. That was so good.
Okay, well,
Can't
in
hear
the
you.
meantime, I've got transition lenses, and I can't wait to get that Tony Stark shit going. And when I do, it's on, dude. The 55-year-old ladies are going to be like this.
Mr. Fantastic.
Oh my! I do declare.
Yeah.
By the way, I hate this as well. That whole thing that he does with Chris where he tries to basically like add on and riff onto the joke, but instead of riffing, he just parrots and says it the same way or says it in a different way, you know? But it's the same thing. It's like, shut the fuck up, bro.
Yeah.
55-year-old ladies.
Well, I mean, once I get the gray hair, yeah.
It's who's attracted to it, or really young, you know, like college ones
Right.
who don't have dads.
Yeah.
Or
Really young ones or college dads
ones
Right.
don't have dads.
Yeah.
Look at his face. Oh my god. That is a fucking Jesus Christ. That's when I say again, as I want to make it known, like, I understand if you're a victim or, you know, you're probably going to be pissed that he's still around or even alive or even free or even somewhat successful still. But this is what cancel culture looks like. You know, when it actually does work, it's not when you don't get jobs. It's when you have to basically live life in public, and every day is a living hell. This guy is aged immensely. he has to be gainfully. No, he basically depends on Brendan for some level of a paycheck. Right, he's never missed a show, I don't think, of the Golden Hour. From what I know, he always turns up there, so he clearly is something that he kind of doesn't, take for granted and shit. When before the allegations, he was destined for stardom. He was on a hit Netflix show. He was about to do action movie roles and shit, and then it all got taken away. And that basically is probably the best justice you can get, because unfortunately, with him being a fucking with him being a celebrity, with him having family that works in the industry, it's very unlikely he was ever going to go to jail or prison for anything that he did, right? So if there is one thing that you could get away with, there's one thing that could have a consequence, is that you have to sit next to Brendan and he has to say those things, like that's punishment enough, I think, in that respect. It's probably not enough, but for the circumstances, that should be some level of satisfaction if you're a victim, because Jesus Christ, bro. Jesus Christ. Oh, big up the stream chat, big up all of you. They've had this talk before, and your registered admission failed. You've got them next time. Botch porn stash, yeah, that stash is never gonna get me. Keep being away from Chris, exactly. Super Jello Diddler couldn't riff on that one. Fashion Roadman, big up you. Thanks for joining, brother. So just very concerning that his first instinct is to say really young ones of college ones that don't have dads, exactly. And then Chris's reply or response to it. People say like when you're being defensive, like you do that thing, like you cross your arms, or when you're lying, your eyes dart around the place, you can't keep your eyes. It's almost like it was like instinctual, right? How Chris responded, innit? Like his face like contorted and shit was so weird, no?
I mean, once I get the gray
One more
hair,
time, look.
It's who's attracted to it, or really young, like college ones who don't have dads.
Yeah.
It's like his face was like there's like a demon coming out.
College ones
Right.
who don't have dads.
Yeah. Look at his face. Jesus Christ, bro. The truth is the truth, innit? Like, the truth is the truth. Look at that, mate. It was like, fucking hell, bro. Oh, Brendan, bro. The gift that keeps on giving. Actually, it's the gift that keeps on giving. So my gift that keeps on giving. Have you seen this? This is absolutely insane. Brendan's now doing content on his Instagram stories where he's trying to incorporate Rain, the energy drink he's sponsored by, with this new car guy, gearhead car guy, truck dude persona thing he has going on. It's kind of it's kind of funny, highly embarrassing, but it also kind of makes sense because this is clearly a strategy for him where he loves to do like tagging companies and stuff and using that as a way to get free things and whatnot. So maybe this is a way to kind of maybe increase his profile with fucking Rain energy drink to make him maybe more of a priority in terms of a list of ambassadors. But it's also funny that I actually taste tested this once during a stream. I don't really drink energy drinks anyway in general, even Red Bull and stuff. But I could honestly say Rain might be one of the worst energy drinks I've ever drunk in my life. And again, I'm not like a big energy drink person. I don't have a huge fucking experience with these fucking beverages at all. But from what I had, it was absolutely ghastly. Like legitimately bath level. Like you couldn't drink. I think you'd have a hard time drinking a whole can. I swear to God, even if you're somebody that likes energy drinks, you have a hard time drinking it. It's ridiculously horrible. So whenever I see him pushing it a lot, I'm like, oh, it makes sense, innit? Because they're, even though they probably got, they probably do decent in terms of sales and stuff, when it comes to tasting it, it's rancid, bro. It's fucking rancid. It really is. It's just horrendous shit. But yeah, he's doing this car content. It's funny. I love the trucker hat. I love the white baseball shirt. Leading up against the fucking car, as we all do, right? When we're fixing our cars, we put on our nicest baseball jersey in white as we're going to fix our car. We put on a nice trendy trucker hat to look like we know what we're doing, and we roll up our sleeves. Or we have a short sleeve t-shirt we wear to make us look like we know what we're doing. But hey, if this is what he wants to do in terms of branding, next couple of steps is what it is. But I just find the car content thing hilarious because there was a time in his life, or when we were viewing him from afar, where he was happy to be the guy with money. He'd buy like Porsches, he'd buy Ferraris. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Why not just be that guy? Just have money and just buy nice cars and get them fixed up. I don't know why the pivot came to like trying to be a gearhead and trying to act like you're a mechanic, or that you know, like, I don't know, he's changing decals and vinyls on these cars. It's like, dude, come on, bro. Come on. It's just, I don't know, it's an odd thing. But again, with these comedy shows slowing down somewhat, you look at the list of gigs he's got, they're not really as full as they once were. Maybe that's the reason why he's doing it. He's just got enough free time on his hands where he's like, you know what, I need to do something. And the last thing he wants to do is hang around his family. So, hey, fuck it. Let's just pretend to be a car guy. Yeah? That's what he's doing. So fair play. Fair fucking play, I guess. Fair fucking play. Next clip. This is another one, is one of my favorite ones in recent memory also. This is absolutely brilliant because this is another example as to why, even though, you know, Christina isn't buried under a jail or in fucking jail at the moment for the alleged fucking paedophile allegations and whatnot, this is another example of living in your own hell, or living in a living hell, you know. Going to work and it being a living hell, right? Every single day, especially when you're gainfully employed by fucking Brendan Schaub. This exchange is absolutely hilarious. Listen to this.
Now, it's a harder squeeze.
Studio.
So try not to say it.
Yeah, I really am.
It's a harder squeeze. It's a harder squeeze. It's a harder
but
squeeze.
You're gonna get juice out of it.
The juice is working.
Well, I'm Mexican, man, so I'm not afraid of working.
Horchata. It's not worth the horchata.
Dude, he started his mechanic career outside, you know, in front of the.
To say horchata.
Horchata.
Horchata. Horchata. What is that?
That sounds like a workout place for Mexicans.
And they're all dressed like this.
It's a workout.
You go to the side, bro. You go to the side.
I'm gonna tell you something. I'm still thinking about the number 2 I went. It felt fantastic, dude. And I'm not bullshitting.
Again, that's a little gay.
I want to ask you a question, Brennan. You touch me a lot during the podcast, and it's okay.
Dude,
but you don't touch Eric a lot in the podcast.
Because he's so far.
But why are you so close to me then? Why don't you? Why? And no offense.
I love you, man.
And that's fine. But why aren't you closer to him?
Well, I move away because I don't want to be.
But if I move away, I'm out of the fucking show.
No, Nick would get in the frame and do that thing he does, where you like move the camera.
It's just
you know what I mean?
It's true.
Sorry, man. It's close.
But you got to give Nick something to do. You got to move.
But this is Patreon. Let's talk about the nitty gritty, dude.
The
You touch me too much.
It's how I show love, dude. I'm physical.
All right. I come over and I'm like,
yeah, he grabs me, man.
You know what I mean?
You don't see me stopping the podcast
Because it doesn't happen so much.
Yeah.
You don't know how much you touch me.
No, but it's different, Brendan, because you're over there like.
Stop, kinda.
Kind of.
You're like, stop. At least slow down.
So, Chris actually is legitimately annoyed that Brendan keeps touching him. It's absolutely hilarious. And you can kind of see a little bit here when Brendan kind of touches his knee when they're joking. He kind of like tenses up a little bit, which is kind of hilarious, right? Chris doesn't like being touched, but he's been accused of touching, you know, hundreds of fucking 16-year-olds. It's quite funny, right? That actual fucking thing. The guy that allegedly touched people without their consent is also a person that doesn't like to be touched himself. But you can actually notice the fucking annoyance and the fucking peeved off look on his face when Brendan touches his knee here, the first bit, when they joke here. Let me just roll it back a little bit here. I think it's around here, right? Where he touches his knee.
Horchata. What is that?
That sounds like a workout place for Mexicans.
Boom. He doesn't like that. You see a little bit of a change in his face when he touches his knee. He doesn't even like that.
And they're all dressed like this.
And he kept thinking about it. He's like, fucking hell, man. Why are you touching me? Still thinking about it now. He's still thinking about it. Then here, randomly,
look, he brings it up. Number 2 I went. It felt fantastic.
He's touched again.
I'm not bullshitting.
Again, that's a little gay.
I want to ask you a question, Brennan. You touch me a lot during the podcast, and it's okay.
Dude,
but you don't.
And I honestly think the reason why and even this touch annoyed him again. This other touch here definitely pissed him off some more.
Don't touch Eric a lot in the podcast.
Because he's so far.
But why are you so close to me then? Why don't you? Why? And no offense.
I love you, man.
And that's fine.
And he can't. And you know what's funny about Brendan? He's so redacted and has so little emotional intelligence or range or understanding that he really can't understand the subtext of what Chris is saying. He's trying to say, hey, I'm not bothered by it, it's okay, but he is bothered by it. He can't understand that it's actually annoying him. It's not a bit. He doesn't find it funny. But because obviously he's Chris D'Elia and he knows that Brendan could choke him out, he doesn't know how to say it really with some level of kind of, conviction. He tries to say it in this kind of jokey way, make it not so serious, but he's actually being deadly serious here. He actually despises it, and a part of his soul breaks every time Brendan touches him. And it wouldn't surprise me if Chris was the first to leave, and this would be one of the reasons why. It's a tiny thing that just he can't ignore. But Brendan is so dumb, or is so lacking in understanding or whatever perception, what it is, he just doesn't get this sort of stuff. Like, it doesn't compute in his head, because I think the reason why Brendan touches Chris so much is not because he loves, obviously he loves Chris, but I think it's more so that's his level of like that's his form of like, that's what he thinks being funny is, like that kind of like, locker room touching and pulling and shit, right? But Chris is not from that school of thought. He doesn't really bond with that sort of humor. He doesn't think that's funny at all. He's probably the same guy that doesn't think it's funny if you slap the mill out of, slap some chips out of his hand and shit. He's not going to take that too well. So that's the kind of stuff that Brendan finds funny. So I think in Brendan's head, he thinks touching emphasizes, it's sort of like a punching up a joke. It's sort of like a punchline in a joke, actually. Whereas with somebody else who doesn't find that funny at all and finds it an invasion of privacy, it's like, just leave me alone. Just leave me the fuck alone. So I think that's the issue at hand here. But I love the fact that Brendan has no idea that Chris is actually being serious here. He's not joking. That's the thing that I love the most about it. Forget why he's doing it, whatever. He actually thinks Chris is joking. He doesn't get that this is going to be one of those things that is going to be a stickler for Chris, to the point where he might end up leaving the show because of it.
But why are you so close to me then? Why don't you? Why? And no offense.
I love you, man.
And that's fine. But why aren't you closer to him?
Well, I move away because I don't want to be.
But if I move away, I'm out of the fucking show.
No, Nick would get in the frame and do that thing he does, where you like move the camera.
So that there is some thought about that, right? And some people are suggesting that maybe this is the fault of Chin or something with the microphones. Maybe because the microphones are like mounted. I think the mounts on this side where Eric Griffin is are there on his left, to his left, and the mounts on Brendan are to his left. But the amount on Chris's are to his right, to his right. So when they sit, it makes them all sit further down the table, kind of. If you get the gist, that's what basically people are saying. It's just think so that makes Brendan sit a little bit to the right, which then brings him closer to Chris. Whereas if this mic was mounted on the same side, it would make Chris sit a bit further out. But I'm assuming the reason why they did that is because they want to fit them all into the frame. But also, obviously, Brendan obviously loves Chris anyway, so it makes sense that he's also leaning more closer to Chris in that regard. But it's maybe the mics. Maybe the mics are the fault. Maybe that's the reason. If this mic was set up this side, maybe it would be a little bit easier to kind of spread him out across the table, because he is weirdly closer to Chris than he is to fucking Eric. But maybe this is a representative of how much he fucking loves Chris, and maybe not so much with fucking Eric Griffin on the side. But I find it hilarious that this is an actual issue for Chris. He's actually annoyed by Brendan touching him all the time, and Brendan has no ability to be, attuned to it at all. No social awareness, as somebody said in the stream chat. And he doesn't get it. He fucking doesn't get it. And Chris is fucking living in a hell of his own creation, really, to be fair. Because if he didn't diddle, he wouldn't have to depend on Brendan for a fucking paycheck. And he wouldn't be here. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. It is what it is. Exactly, Super Jello. The diddler's asking for it. Big up. Yeah, big up the watcher. Thank you for joining, brother. Appreciate you, my friend. Appreciate you. Moving on. Let's play this one. Chin is still beefing with Brendan Schaub and Callan. What's this about? Let's see this. I bet this is about the dumb segment, right? Yeah, it has to be.
That's awesome.
I actually need to make a clip about that. Actually, that clip was really impressive. I think this is from this show, isn't it? Big up whoever fucking recommended me that. That you are a legend in the stream chat. Told me to watch that last episode of fucking Fighting the Kid because that was brilliant. To see them dismantle Chin online was actually one of their funniest pods they'd had in a while. Actually, that Fighting the Kid was fucking excellent. When they found that Chin is legitimately redacted, was so good.
I was gonna chime in to ask Jesse, but it's
What?
fine that we don't.
Say, Chin.
Did he listen to the actual audiobook?
Yeah, that's what he said.
He actually no, he didn't.
No, that's what he said. He goes, if you actually listen to it.
But I wanted to ask him straight up, did you actually listen to the audiobook? Because
That's what he said, though, Chin. He goes, if anybody who listens to it,
I listen
can't
to
take
it.
it serious, but you think it's real.
You want to listen to it? We can do it right now. We can fast forward
We
afterwards.
don't have time for that.
No.
That's what I'm saying. So you didn't listen to it? I did.
Hey, I lived it.
But so there's actual tips to being a wag. She even brings in the freaking like makeup artist, all this stuff. Like
Yeah,
I
but she
listened
didn't
to
put it into practice.
what?
She didn't put
Because she married
Here's the thing.
a civilian after
Here's the
that.
here's the main thing is like, of course it's all stupid and we shouldn't even be in like going into Ian Gary's life with his girl, whatever. But
It's out
I
there.
get the fact that Sean Strickland.
Look at how Brian's looking at him. I don't think Chin has ever had to confront that he's redacted. I don't think he's ever thought about it a day in his life. But I think when someone confronts you with it and you actually just hear how dumb you sound in your own head, that's what's making him annoyed. You know, he's like, hold on. I know I'm redacted. Cool. You've demonstrated that to me. But you guys aren't that smarter than me. Do you know what I mean? Like you're not like, you know what I mean? This is not, don't act as if like you're so many IQ points above me. We're both in the same bracket. That's kind of what's probably affecting him the most. Isn't it? He's
insane. Like he shouldn't have done it publicly. He should have done it privately, like you said.
Yeah, if you want to help him. If you actually want to help him, you should be like, hey, dude, just so you, maybe, I don't know if you're aware of this.
When we say, oh, she's saying she's defending herself like it's satirical. If you listen to it, it's not satirical.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, that's a matter of opinion.
That's my opinion.
Yeah.
I would love people to actually listen to the. There's a 5-minute preview on Amazon if you want to listen to it. And
Chin not understanding satire is fucking brilliant, man.
just for yourself.
That's all right.
I don't know.
You wanted me to dive deeper, so I dive deeper.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you did, Chin. Yeah, that's the thing. Who knows? But I think it'd make her look worse if she released that wags and then married like a Premier League soccer player.
Right.
But she releases that and then marries a
By the way,
civilian.
even then, I got no problem.
But she couldn't get it. Maybe she can get it.
Yeah, you might be
And
right.
also, remember the Kamzat story I told you about, right? That Ian Gary himself put out there.
Agree.
11
Chin, I
months
think
ago.
we're in agreement with this. And it works for them, which all more power to them.
And that's fine. Let's
Oh, I love Chin, man. Chin is fucking not having it. There's another clip too I want to play here from Chin. Until I can find it. I got it already listed on here. Bear with me 1 second. I get it loaded. But yeah, yeah, this is the one. This is the one. Because the Lincoln Subreddit guy, this is fucking brilliant. Another one. I present to you the Chin Wars. This is fucking brilliant. Let's play this one. The Chin Wars, alright? Come on. Load, you fucking dickhead.
Chin, is this your way of getting back at us?
This is just a fun thing we're doing here.
There is no escape. My young apprentice.
Who's the current
Is
president?
this Chin's way of getting back at us?
I'm
You
just
want to go
saying,
World, you want to go World War II, Chin?
I can feel your anger.
Brian,
Yeah.
you were born in the Philippines.
Yep.
Who's the current president of the Philippines?
Well, it was Duterte, right?
Okay.
I don't know who it
guy.
is now. I don't know.
You don't know who it is.
Jesus Christ.
Baba is defenseless. Take your weapon. Strike Baba down with all of your hatred, and your journey towards the dark side will be complete.
Brendan. So who's the current prime minister of the UK?
I don't know.
It's kind of it's a tricky one.
I don't know. I wouldn't know the name if you said it.
It's so brilliant, so good, man.
Dicey. Whoa!
It's so good. Dicey. Yo, Chin is not having it. I'm loving it, man. Honestly, I'm fucking loving this new Chin arc. Honestly, man. He's finally fucking letting his nuts hang, and I fucking love it. I swear to God. Even though he's redacted, in this case, it's been proven, you know, without a shadow of a doubt, that Chin is fucking dumb as rocks. It is what it is. But I love that he's not having it, that another person who's also as dumb as rocks as him is calling him out. I'm loving that level. It's like, no. He's like, I know I'm dumb. I know I'm redacted, but don't you dare call me dumb because I know you, you know? I've heard the things that you've said. Trust me, I record you guys every day. Like, don't fucking act like I don't know that you guys are fucking dumb. But yeah, I thought that was fucking brilliant. Big up fucking Chin for letting these nuts hang and not accepting that these guys are trying to dunk on him and trying to act like they're smarter than him. No, not having it in the slightest. I fucking love it. Let's continue on with some other clips here before we... Okay, let's just see this one. Let's just go through all of them actually, line by line. Baba discovers different countries have different currencies. What's this one?
Variant, but New Zealand is killing it.
Killing it.
They haven't had a single case in like 100 days.
Can I just tell you that I was blown away? I told you that. Blown away by New Zealand. New Zealand, have you been?
Yeah. Best place I've been.
Yeah.
Me too, without a doubt.
They're Dublin, yeah.
The Dublin was amazing. Yeah. But New Zealand, first of all, the people were so cool. And when I was in Wellington.
I love the little flex and correction. And also Dublin. I'm international, baby.
Which is their capital. And when you fly...
hasn't been to Dublin since, has he? Hey, oi!
And I was like, what is it so crazy about here? It took me 2 days walking around. There was nobody walking around looking at their phones. Nobody was on their phones. At the cafes. Yeah. People were just talking to each other. And I'm like, this is so fucking
I remember I fucked up because I was doing stand-up there and I got out. Remember this, Chin? I was
doing stand-up there. Again, we know you're doing stand-up there. Why else did you be in fucking New Zealand?
Out and I want coffee. And I didn't know they had different currency in New Zealand and Australia.
Oh,
and so I just had all this.
They just laughed at you.
I just had all this Australian money. I went to New Zealand to get a coffee and she's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And they like tore into me. I was like, my bad.
Again, no one's saying you need to know the currency's name. No one's saying you need to know whatever, right? No one's saying that, but not understanding that different countries have different currencies is fucking wild. Legitimately wild. Like, it actually is. To be a grown-ass man and be surprised that a New Zealand barista would not accept your Australian dollars, right? Your Australian currency is, I don't know. Again, no one's saying you need to know the name of the currencies and shit, but not understanding that there could be a difference in currencies is fucking bizarre. And also admitting that sort of stuff and making it seem like, you know, they were digging into you because they were being just pedantic, you know, they were being pedantic or being picky or being anal. It's like, so how that works, mate. You know what I mean? Different currencies, different countries. That's how it normally works. But hey, you know what I mean? He just goes. He just fucking goes. He just fucking goes. Really does just go. Another one. The lightning is okay. So is the baby. That's it.
It's a good day, buddy. It's a good day. We got two things going on. We got
baby came home.
Baby's well, not yet. Baby's
okay.
We got the okay where we can go pick her up. So baby's out of the hospital. Thank the dear sweet Lord.
Takes a long time. You get that call, right?
Shout out to the NIC unit at Cedar-Sinai.
I think he waited to say first the car's okay. He didn't want to mention the baby. But Callum's obviously the only somewhat decent human, so he waited to say the baby first. But I think he waited to mention the car first.
Cyanide, they are angels. They are angels of kiddo.
Hold on, do you say cyanide again? Let's say cyanide. Let's hear it. Is it cyanide or cyanide?
Takes a long time. You get that call, right?
Shout out to the NIC unit at Cedar-Sinai.
Awesome.
They are
Cedar-Sinai. Honestly, man, you know what? You know why Cedar-Sinai is such a fantastic, horrible mispronunciation of the word? Because when he originally said cyanide, I thought that it was spelled a certain way. That's why he said that. But when you actually see how it's spelled, it's actually phonetic. There's no way you can mix up how to say that name of the hospital because it looks like like cyanide or cyanide. How you meant to pronounce it? It's not cyanide. There's no like anything in that there's nothing of how it's being spelled that would make you think it says cyanide. But I think he actually thinks it's cyanide and not Cedar-Sinai. Cyanide. And also, why would you take your kid to a hospital named Cyanide? You know, I'd be like, not really, you know?
angels. They are angels of kiddos.
Doctors and the nurses.
Yep, they're the absolute best of the best. So shout out to them. So I'm so excited for the baby girl to come home.
So excited.
It's always nerve-wracking when you bring a newborn home.
Yeah.
It's going to be a little different plan of that.
It's always he's talking about bringing a newborn home like he's bringing a new dog to the house, right? He picked up a rescue and he's worried about how his kids are going to react to this rescue, right? That's how he's acting, isn't it? Like bringing the kid back from the NCIU is like, it's always a bit of toss. What? It's like
action here.
Yeah.
And then the lightning's not a lemon. So we have both.
Lightning's not a lemon.
Lightning's not a lemon.
Lightning's not a lemon.
Lightning's not a lemon.
Look
Took
how
it
much
to the
excitement.
specialist Eddie at
Look how much excitement already in his voice he has talking about the lightning truck, the Ford lightning truck, the 20-year-old truck he picked up and flew to another state to go and pick up, but then refused to test drive it. Again, I wonder if this is a standard thing that happens. Because again, I don't understand it myself. I'm not a car guy, fair enough. But I would assume if you're buying a second-hand car, the first thing you do is test drive it, no? Why would you fly somewhere, not test drive it? It just doesn't make any sense.
Addiction Motorsports.
Yeah.
You know, when you don't know somebody, they jump in, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know him. So I was like, hey, man, so how long you been doing this? And he goes, just jump in. And he was like, let me drive it. Let me feel what's going on here. He's been doing it forever.
Yeah.
And so it's all quiet. And I was like, so how long you been doing this? He's like, shh, just shut the fuck up for a second. And I was like, oh, okay, that's weird. And he goes, it's your fuel pump and your spark plugs are misfiring.
No.
And I was like, you think? He's like, I would bet my last $1. He's like, who told you it was the transmission or the torque? He's like, no, the transmission you would know would be slipping. He goes, I go, well, yeah, but let's get it like on your machine.
Say again.
It's your fuel pump and spark plugs misfiring.
Dude, that's a dude who knows.
We pull into
his
a
shit.
shop.
Has he got a boner? Is he coming in his fucking jeans at the thought of a man doing his job right? At the thought of like a working class man with like oil stains in his fucking overalls talking about fucking fixing a car. Is he actually coming in his fucking jeans over this? He's so weird, bro. Like, what is wrong with this guy? Like, how big are his hands? Did he have those calluses hands? How was he? Was he like 6'4"? Was he 400 pounds? It's like, bro, like, but maybe this is a manifestation of him growing up privileged because he grew up like, you know, rich and stuff. Maybe he kind of feels oddly inadequate, and he just looks at guys like guys who work like with their hands and shit. He kind of looks at them like they're gods and stuff, right? You had to like work for your money. You had to like work 2 jobs to put yourself through college. You had to do like, you know, you had to work in a garage, you know, for minimum wage. You went to prison. You raped somebody. What's that? What?
Sexed it up. He's like, look at the pressure gauge on the fuel pump. He's like, so I told you we need to replace the fuel pump, and then we'll just get the new spark plug. This thing's up and running. And he was like, oh, and you think it was stock? Oh, yeah, he goes, no. Throttle body's all custom. The intake, the pulleys, the headers, the exhaust. He's like, this is all. He's like, the whole suspension's been redone.
Man, I love people like that who are
Look at him. Have you heard him talk about his kids like that? Look at the glee. Look at that. Like, he's imagining that mechanic's dick in his mouth, isn't it? Really, all right? He's imagining you just slapping against his face like that. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, mechanic guy. You're so sexy, so good. You fix cars, mechanic guy. Yeah. It's like, all right, relax. But hey, what do I know? Moving on from that one, let's get this one. The look of a jealous man. Callan's selling tickets and doing comedy every weekend.
Guys,
whoops, it's not on the screen. Bear with me a second. Do you think he's jealous? I don't know. I don't buy it, man. I don't buy it.
Guys, good news. December 7th, 8 and 9, Helium, Indianapolis, Indiana. Spokane Comedy Club, December 15, 16. Off the Hook Comedy Club, December 21, 22, 23 in Naples, Florida. And finally, I Ring in the Ear in Charlotte, North Carolina, Comedy Zone. Come see me. That's all I got to say. I'm going to London.
Oh yeah, I thought he was performing in London, but I think he's just here on the holidays. I wanted to actually see him live. But yeah, do I think he's jealous? I don't know. I don't think so. Maybe it's a bit awkward to hear him saying that, but I don't think it's jealousy, to be fair. I think it's been such a slow bit. It's been such a slow bleed. It's been death by 1,000 cuts. I think he saw it coming from a mile away. This decline. I think this is. Think about it. It's no coincidence that the decline in Brendan's comedy gigs has also coincided with him suddenly being into trucks and flying places to go buy them and whatnot, right? He's obviously trying to fill up his time, because if he was actually doing loads of comedy gigs, he wouldn't be buying all these trucks and getting balls deep into pickup. Like, he wouldn't be doing that because he wouldn't have time. Like, physically, he wouldn't have actual time to go and do so. So I think it's no coincidence that he's now trying to fill up his time. So I don't think he's jealous. If anything, it's an uncomfortable thing to sit there and, you know, I've always said, like, I find the whole listing of your dates on comedy podcasts really cringe and unnecessary. It's almost like they're just basically, you know, jacking themselves off, essentially. You don't need to just list all your fucking dates. We don't care. If I want to buy tickets, I'm just going to go to your website. Just say, hey, I got tickets on my website for my next shows. If you want to see me, I might be in the city near you soon. Like, and if I want to go see you, I'll go check your website. But just because you say you're in Spokane or you're in Arizona or you're going to be playing in Michigan, I'm not going to be like, oh my God, wow, he's in Michigan next week and I'm going to remember it and then go. If I want to see you perform, I'm going to check anyway. I'm going to check your website out. So you don't need to say it on the list. But obviously comedians do that as a weird humble brag flex thing. Oh my God, I'm so excited. This is all sold out. I got a tour coming up at this day. It's just, you don't need to list every single one of them. So I think that the whole listing of the dates is more so for themselves and for other comedians, right? To kind of prove how big of a dick they've got. Oh, look how many fucking shows I'm doing. So I'm sure it's awkward for him because he doesn't have much to list, but you know, it kind of is what it is. And like I said, I think it's been death by 1,000 cuts, as Tony Hinchcliffe and fucking Steve-O said. So it's clear that he knew what was happening. And it's no coincidence that he's now getting into trucks and all these other things to kind of distract from doing stand-up. So it kind of is what it is, isn't it, really, to be honest? It kind of is what it is. But I don't think he's jealous, personally, for me. I just think maybe he's a bit uncomfortable having to sit there and hear him, you know, hear somebody clearly is still enjoying doing stand-up and he's not maybe doing as much as he would probably hope. But again, his own fault. Don't feel sorry for him. He could have fixed it himself, but he refused to, so it is what it is. Moving on from that one, let's see this. Actual enthusiasm about the critter and the lightning. Okay, cool. Let's play this one. This is a new recent episode, right? Let's play this.
Yeah. Dude, don't be bringing that tired energy down.
I don't understand.
Your boy's
bro.
buzzing.
Yeah.
I'm buzzing, dude. Baby gets out of the hospital today. Just got the call.
Wow.
Baby's coming out.
I didn't. That's amazing.
Is that the first clap applause that he's ever got? No, sorry. There is there's an applause break on Gringo Pappy, innit? I forgot what joke is for, but it's a really bad one as well. He gets an applause break. I wonder if that's fuck, what joke was it for? Oh, that's what. He gets an applause break for the joke about the fucking car. No, about his mother, about his mother-in-law. We can fit. Right? It's like, and I think it's when he says something about, it's not a taquito diet or something, or maybe it's the Mexican cookies or some shit. He gets some sort of applause break for it. I was like, wow. But yeah, getting an applause break was fucking hilarious on the podcast because, you know, you didn't have the kid, but hey.
Amazing.
They said they went in there. She was like this. Where's my dad?
Really?
Where's my dad?
Wait, how long has she been in the hospital?
She had emergency surgery on Monday night about 4 a.m. And then it went 0 to 100 and it was super dangerous. And then, so since Tuesday morning. Since Tuesday morning.
So it's been a week.
Been a week. Couldn't touch baby, couldn't hold the baby. My wife held the baby for the first time yesterday. She's been in the NICU unit, so, you know, with the lungs, they weren't sure. And she had breathing too. It was rough.
Your wife?
No, the baby, yeah.
Oh, fuck.
It was rough. Let me take these off while I'm being serious. It was rough.
I'm sorry to hear all that.
I know.
But
made it through, though, huh?
Made it through, baby. Here's the thing.
Now you three strong.
Baby's coming home today, and my Ford Lightning, we thought it was a lemon, took it to the guy today, the wrench wizard himself, Eddie, and he's like, oh, it's your...
The refusal to like bask in the glory of having a nice, healthy baby back home and pivoting it back to talking about you is a common comedic trope, innit? But I wonder if a lot of them just do it, like, not as to be funny as a comedic trope. It's actually legit. Because Bert does this a lot as well. he was talking about his family, something nice happened to his daughters, or maybe his wife had a cool, funny story, and then he'll hear all the, love and attention that story is getting about not him, and then he'll kind of switch it back to himself again. Like, that's something that Brendan does expertly, like other comedians. It's always about me, baby. Always about me.
Fuel pump. He got in, right? He's this big Mexican dude. He knows cars. So I get
Mexican as shit. I thought you were going to say that.
there, I'm like, waiting. I'm like, where's Eddie? And I'm like, he's a giant Mexican. Has to be Eddie. He goes, get in your car, man. Let's go for a ride. He's like, scoot over. I'm like, all right, damn, Debo. So he gets in, and I'm talking. He goes, shh. It's your fuel pump.
I'm almost certain this is going to be a bit in a new comedy special. And again, like I said before, why does he find it impossible to line up his mustache, especially on the right-hand side? It's always this side that's always longer than the left. Why is that the case? He can always trim it okay on the left-hand side, right? So it kind of follows the crevice. Because I think, again, I don't know much about mustache, but I'd imagine you have to follow sort of the crevice of your, of your cheek line here. So maybe that's where you kind of are meant to have it. But for some reason, this side of his mustache is always longer. He just can't seem to kind of fix that end of it. It's like, brother, don't you own a mirror? Like, come on, bro.
It's running lean. It's your spark plugs. I was like, you sure? He's like, I would bet my last dollar. I've been doing this for 25 years, son. I'm like,
whoa.
I said, well, let's just get in the
He's
shop.
like the Long Island medium.
Dude.
So he was like the...
Gets in the shop, hooks it up. He goes, oh, well, yeah, it's your fuel pump. It's your spark plugs. This thing's ready to go, man.
He was the mechanic Holmes.
Yeah.
So
Luther of mechanics.
He's the Luther. He was like, your fuel pump is from Florida.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's doing.
It was worked on by a guy named Manuel.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, that's good, man.
Oh,
and
dude.
I like how that was a quick transition, huh? NICU baby, right to Ford Lightning.
Well, what I don't is the pleasure, the happiness from the Ford Lightning seemed palpable.
See more?
Yeah.
But you know what's crazy?
He was like, yeah, my baby's at the NICU. My Ford Lightning
is running, baby. You know what's crazy is the new baby was like, I'm not coming out till that Lightning's up and running. That's like, I was like, oh, she's a gearhead. That's my baby.
It was just like, boo. How's the Ford Lightning?
Hey,
you know
how's the Ford Lightning? Oh, is having trouble? All right, so are my lungs.
But you know what's crazy is when you first meet someone, it's a little awkward and you're like trying to small chat.
You did that with the baby?
Yeah, I did it with the baby. Yeah, but
So,
she was like, you're Reddit. No, but when I was in the car, I'm like trying to break the barrier. I'm like, yeah, how long?
What was that joke? Was that a Reddit joke? What was that? Huh?
Yeah, but
So,
she was like, you're Reddit. No, but when I was in the car, I'm like trying to break the barrier. I'm like, yeah, how long you been doing this, man? And
break the barrier. Is that him trying to say barrier? Hold on, let's go to the beginning there.
Been running. That's I was like, oh, she's a gearhead. That's my.
I love the gearhead. Is like I said, is a quote. Is that gear? It's not gear. It's gar. Garhead. Say again.
That's I was like, oh, she's a gearhead.
The pronunciation.
That's my baby.
It was just like, boo. How's the Ford Lightning?
Hey,
you know
how's the Ford Lightning? Oh, is having trouble? All right, so are my lungs.
But you know what's crazy is when you first meet someone, it's a little awkward and you're like trying to small chat.
You did that with the baby?
Yeah, I did it with the baby. Yeah, but
So,
she was like, you're Reddit. No, but when I was in the car, I'm like trying to break the barrier. I'm like, yeah,
break the beer. I'm trying to break the beer.
I'm like trying to break the barrier. I'm like, yeah, how long you been doing this, man? And you can tell he's like, yeah, shh, just shut the fuck up for a second.
That's good.
It's your fuel pump.
You should have taken him to see the baby.
I know.
Should have been like, the doctors are talking. He's like, shh, shh, shh.
It's her lungs.
It's her left lung.
It was put in by Manuel in Florida.
Eric is really earning his fucking keep, innit? Eric is really fucking earning his money, innit? He's definitely going to have a big family. He's probably got house renovations to pay for, holidays, maybe some new outfits in the wardrobe for his wife and stuff, maybe a new car. Like, there's nothing on this pod that would need you to bend over and laugh like this with your head leant back like this, with your whole mouth exposed. Like, there's nothing on this pod that's that funny. Really. And maybe Crystalia from like Will Sasso, Brian Callen era of podcasting, right? Before the fucking allegation of TFATK, maybe that Chris could make you laugh like this. Because that Chris was fucking really funny, right? That Chris from the TFATK era, prior to us knowing that he was a PDF, was really funny. But this era of Chris is a broken man. He's a shell of his former self, literally. He's aged like 30 years in the last like 5 years. And his comedy has definitely suffered for it. We've seen it with his fucking stand-up special. It's fucking dog shit. You know, the worst £10 I've ever spent in my entire life. There's nothing that Chris D'Elia would say that should make you want to laugh like this. But respect the hustle. He knows where his bread's buttered. He has to pay some bills. He's a grown-ass man. When you need to pay the bills, you laugh like this, you exaggerate, and you get the bills paid. But this is so over the top. Like, look at that. Like, come on. Even Brendan, the resident fucking Chris D'Elia cockholster, isn't fucking laughing at that. Look, he's just kind of, you know, looking. Chris is drinking and acting. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that reaction. Like, what is that? What is that reaction? No one's even laughing the way he's laughing in the whole cast. Like, it's just him by himself. Bloody hell. He's definitely earning his keep, though. Fair play. Fair play. Fair fucking play. Next one. Is Food Truck Diaries ending? This is an interesting topic, isn't it? I hadn't thought about this at all, but I had noticed recently that they hadn't updated their fucking channel in a while, right? So maybe Brendan Shaw's Food Truck Diaries is coming to a screeching halt very, very soon. Very soon. Very soon.
A little bit better right
You
now.
went from food truck to trucks?
Food truck? Oh, wait.
No, I was just sick of booking guests.
Okay. Oh, you're not doing food truck anymore?
No, it's not canceled. We have one
Got
coming
it.
up soon, but
Got
it's
it.
not. We used to do 2 a month religiously for 5 years.
I don't.
And then when I went on my own, I was like, bro, this is just too much work. I'm trying to cut back. Show's been going on 5 years. Like, it's a great
how many
run.
food trucks are there?
It's a great run. And then also,
True.
How many fighters can you interview? Oh, really? You got a fight
Yeah.
coming up? Oh, you're going to win. Oh, cool, man.
Oh, but wait, why just is it? I don't know the name of it. I'm sorry, I don't watch it, but it's like fighters and food trucks.
Food Truck Diaries.
But what does it have to be fighters?
Honestly, this legitimately is another example of just how redacted this man is. He actually never had thought about it. He'd never actually thought of the idea of maybe not only interviewing fighters for his Food Truck Diaries show. I still will maintain that I think Food Truck Diaries is the best bit of content that Brendan's ever made. I still think there's something there to be had for, like, you know, especially when he started it, you know, around the time when food trucks were big, you know, going and having different food trucks, you know, basically vie for a position on the show, present their best foods, and then talk about fighting over a meal or some food, you know, some street food with a fucking fighter in the location where it's at is amazing. I still don't get why he gets them to order the food at the food truck, but then takes the food to an office. I'd always thought that the good thing to do it would be like do it like kind of like Anthony Bourdain style, Parts Unknown, where you rock up and you sit on those little plastic chairs on the outside, outside, you know, on the side of the street and shit, or whatever, and eat it on location in some respects. That would actually add to the actual show. But, you know, if you went a different direction, cool. But there's actually something there in that show. That show is actually quite good. But he still fucked it up because, you know, he's not a really good interviewer. He has this weird way of asking questions where he'll sort of like ramble before he asks you a question. You're like, yeah, I want to get your opinion on something. And you just go on a ramble for like 5 minutes and then you have to kind of remember the question. It's really odd. Big up Stinger Good. Appreciate it, brother.
No more Showtime money for guest.
Yeah, exactly. And clearly as well, the production of the show has been, as Stinger Goose mentioned here, the production, big thank you for your super chat, brother. As he's mentioned, the production of the show, the quality of it has definitely decreased since he stepped away from Showtime. They did a lot of the real heavy lifting on that show in terms of lighting it, filming it a certain way, editing it a certain way. It definitely isn't done to the same level of quality. Again, it's not the fault of the, you know, Chin and the rest of the guys there because they're probably doing enough work as it is, but fucking hell, man, the show's definitely suffered off the back of him getting kind of booted away from Showtime. But I still think you can make it work, but it just needs a little bit more creativity, maybe thinking outside the box a little bit, and just, you know, bringing it back to what it was, right? A show, talking to people involved in MMA or the UFC, you know, over food. That's it. It doesn't need to be crazy, but, you know, pulling out fucking burgers to give Francis Ngannou and out of your fucking Ferrari that are cold and then bringing it to the fucking studio, odd. Taking the food from a food truck and bringing it to the studio in the first place is odd. It's just all a bizarre show, to be fair. But I love the idea that he never had thought of interviewing people that weren't just fighters. It was only fighters in his head.
He blew his mind.
No, not at all. I feel.
Let's get other people on.
Well, no, I feel. Well, you could expand it to other athletes.
Why does it have to be athletes at all?
There's other people besides athletes?
Yeah.
No.
I can get Tim Salmon.
What? Oh, man, I hate to tell you guys, my entire network's around fighting.
No, I know.
That's a lie, by the way. He doesn't have an entire network based on fighting, like, at all. There's not an entire network that's based on fighting. The network encompasses loads of different things. The whole reason why he's got a network. But hey, what do I know?
Should I have chefs on?
Not this one.
This one? Well, no, this is different. This is under Thick Boy.
Oh,
This is comedy.
True.
Oh,
should I get Fred McGriff?
Dude, good pull, dog. Dude, should I?
I'm just saying, what I mean, though, is it could be anyone.
Yeah. Why don't you book?
If I wanted to focus on it and like put
Right.
effort and I could expand and be on like, you know, do athletes and do comics and whoever else you guys think and celebrities are the worst. You're booking like straight up.
Well, yeah.
If I focus on it, it's all like, remember that two people say like, if I really wanted to, I could have become pro. It's like, bro, come on, man. Like, again, another example of like the laziness, isn't it? Because I still think that his show is definitely the best thing he's got in his roster of shows. If he actually did put some effort into it, it actually could be a big thing, you know? Unfortunately, he doesn't. And since, you know, as Diego pointed out, since Showtime stepped away and stopped funding his dilly dances and shit, or dilly dances, however you fucking say that fucking word, here we are. Here we fucking are. But I love how Eric fucking blew his mind with that question, innit? Why don't you interview people that aren't just fighters? Hey, why have you thought about that? What are you saying? Yeah, Montez, get the Premier League treatment. Exactly. Exactly. Let's move on from that one. What's we got here? Oh, this place on here. This was quite good too. Delia hates Schaub, no doubt. Yeah, this is a good one as well. This is a really, really good one.
Honestly, this one hurt the most.
Ribs are the worst by far.
But here's the thing. It doesn't really. It hurts. I saw this online. It hurts as much as a cat scratching you over and over and over again. So like,
what cat is scratching you?
Yeah. What do you mean?
What cat?
Well,
Depends
not
on the
a
cat.
tiger. Not a tiger.
Oh, well, if a mountain lion scratching you,
But not a mountain lion, right? Because when we say cat, we just think of house cat. So a house cat.
You guys leave exotics out of it.
Okay, leave exotics out of it. A fucking cat that you might see somewhere in someone's living room.
That was so good. And you know, I think Brendan does that sort of stuff, right? I swear to God, I think he does that sort of like pushing back as a way to like, it's his way. He kind of thinks he's showing like intelligence. He's displaying his intelligence, his acumen, his understanding. Maybe he thinks it's part of him being a critical thinker in some ways, but he honestly thinks when he does that kind of pushback sort of stuff, like needlessly, it kind of just makes him look more intelligent or sound more intelligent when it doesn't. It actually does the opposite. It makes him sound like a fucking reader because the point isn't what cat. It's just the point is that that's the way to kind of like judge how much a tattoo hurts, right? Because we've all been scratched by cats. We've had those kind of experiences. So you just say, hey, getting the tattoo on your ribs is kind of similar to being scratched by a cat. It doesn't matter what type of cat it is. You get the point. But he's trying to push back to like, you know, I don't know, like pick it apart to make himself seem smart. I don't know what's going on there, but that was fucking brilliant. One more time, please.
But honestly, this one hurt the most.
Ribs are the worst by far.
But here's the thing. It doesn't really. It hurts. I saw this online. It hurts as much as a cat scratching you over and over and over again. So like,
what cat is scratching you?
Yeah. What do you mean?
What cat?
Well,
Depends
not
on the
a
cat.
tiger.
Depends.
Not a tiger.
Oh, Well, if a mountain lion scratching you,
But not a mountain lion, right? Because when we say cat, we just think of house cat. So a house cat.
You gotta leave exotics out of it.
Okay, leave exotics out of it. A fucking cat that you might see somewhere in someone's living room.
Exotics. Honestly, man, I would love to be that dumb and just that happy, man. It must be such a nice life to actually be that legitimately redacted. It actually must be a good life to live, where you're redacted, but you don't know you're redacted. That's the benefit. That's the beauty of that kind of life, because I think realizing you're redacted is probably a little bit of its own hell in its own way. But I think when you think you're super smart, but you're actually redacted, oof, that was such a good life. Walking around like you're actually better. Walking around like thinking that you're better than people. Oh, I fucking love it. I fucking love it. I fucking love it. I fucking love it. Let's move on from that one. What else are we going to talk about here? Where is it? Actually, let's actually do a little bit of maybe Chinsuyi. I'm sure he's got a thing that I wanted to check out as well, innit? Bear with me a second here as I get this shit up. Actually, let's play this one. Let's play this one as well. This one's good. This is a new one, right? A little leftover, head up to the kitchen on a slow Sunday. Let's play this one. Big up the Fire the Kids Subreddit guys are posting. This is brilliant. Boppity boppity bop.
We're so excited. Next week, big announcement. We're finding out where else he is other than Naples.
Brendan is. Where are you today, Brendan?
I'm in Naples.
I could be better. Still working with Brendan.
My name's Rick Glassman, and as always, Scoot Do.
Actually, wait.
Scoot Do. Make sure the cameras are going. So I'm happy that you wanted me here.
We love you.
I think that this show is, out, and I watch the show. I've seen every episode. It's so fun to do this podcast. I watch this every week.
That was such a good troll. That episode was so good. And they couldn't read him. Brian was definitely uncomfortable, and Brendan just couldn't read him. Like Brian didn't like it in the slightest. He didn't really like how much he was getting razzed, and Brendan just couldn't understand what was going on. They just couldn't get it. Like Rick Glassman was just too much for him to handle. To be fair,
every time I turn on my computer,
yeah,
I'm like, first thing I got to do.
We're in your face.
What are the fighter and the kid talking about this week?
Yes,
I think you guys are some of the people that do podcasts, and it's so nice.
That's a very general thing.
Now there is a lot of people doing podcasts, but one of the originals, right?
Yeah.
So you're
well. By original, you mean?
Jesus, Brendan's face was hella bloated these days, isn't it? This is when he was in his alcoholic period, isn't it?
Like you have been doing it maybe longer than some of the other people. Not original, as in like your takes are original or special.
No, I mean,
still doing Undateable.
Well, this was before COVID, though. You probably have the money for it now. You have 9 podcasts since then.
True.
I mean, do you think you work too hard?
Yes, I work too much.
Why do you do it? Do you need the money? Does it
Can't
make
stop, won't stop. I'm like a shark. If I stop moving, I'll die.
Sharks have a body chemistry to regenerate themselves and don't need the type of sleep that humans need.
Yeah, you're sweet.
Your arms are
juicy.
He trains.
No, I
it's
don't.
cold.
Your face is super swollen. Like you look like you slept 3 hours.
Well, I had to take night.
Okay, it's right now. Hey, don't! You're mocking him behind his back.
Right hand. I like the right hand.
Nope, not my thing.
Dude, you're being.
You can actually tell, innit? Like his eyes are like. His eyes are like non-existent. Honestly, that period of Brendan becoming an alcoholic in real time was wild, bro. Always had a fucking beverage in his hand. Always heavy pour of whiskey in hand, recording a podcast before 1 p.m. in the afternoon. Like, that's tough, bro. There's definitely an issue. There's definitely some issues there. You know what I mean? Like when you're knocking them back like that, and trust me, I've had my partying days. You know you're having an issue there when you're having to rely on that sort of stuff. You know what I mean? At that time of the day, oof.
He's so disrespectful and childish, frankly.
Do you feel as a wrestler, a solo sport, is that why you maybe lack those abilities?
No, because I came from football, right?
Did you?
Yeah.
You quarterback?
Tight end.
Too big for quarterback, Rick. And you know that. 6'3", and you fight.
And he played for the... Hey, B, when he does this...
We've got you covered.
You know, his pops owns the top rug store in.
We already threw a commercial in. So there's going to be a lot of comments. Oh, Glassman came in, he steamrolled, he just made everything his own.
We're not going to read on the show, right?
Can't read the whole thing.
It's your show. He's so funny and smart.
He should take over for Brian.
No. They're gonna hate because there's a community of podcasters that are like the macho podcasts, where a lot of the people that you're macho, that the people that watch, they're really like, fucking.
Yeah, I want to. Uche makes a good point here. I like Rick a lot, but I don't know if his comedy will translate on stage. I wonder what does he just do? I don't know. Look at it now, but does he just do regular stand up? As in, he's not doing like bits and sketches and stuff. I always assumed he was like a bit of a. He'd do like sketches and skits and shit, and I don't know, have like do like wacky stuff. Like I'd always assumed he'd be like, you know, performing arts type of variety school of, you know, performing arts in San Francisco type of college vibe thing that BGL was doing. I'd imagine, you know, but yeah. Maybe it's not the best thing to watch on stage, but I enjoy his pod though. His pod's fucking brilliant. To be fair, I think it's really funny.
Jew.
No.
Found 20 ounces.
Bless you.
I know you hate germs.
Hold on, this guy's such a badass.
Oh, he's on OC.
That was a wet one, isn't it? That was wet, bro. That was fucking wet.
No.
Found 20 ounces.
Bless you.
Oh, definitely some spit on his hand there. Definitely. You look how embarrassed he looks. He looks sheepish, like fucking hell. That was wet, and he wiped down his hands, innit, on the chair. He definitely doesn't wash his hands either. Fucking hell.
I know you hate germs.
Hold on, this guy's such a badass.
Oh, he's on OCD? He doesn't care about anything but fucking germs?
No.
Jew fuck!
No, nobody.
That's what your fans are.
Have you seen Love on the Spectrum?
Oh, Love.
So good.
You guys, this is so fun. I hope I'm
The straw thing. The trolling into their faces is fucking hilarious.
not coming across too aggressive.
Rick, what the fuck?
Come here, for real.
Rick, your hands are crazy. Rick.
I love how like lost Brendan gets in the presence of people that are like legitimately funny. It used to happen a lot as well whenever Brian and Chris used to have their little back and forth that are funny. Brendan would just be sitting there like not knowing what to do. He gets really kind of like he really does look a bit out of place when he tries to like, you know, join in as well. He sounds really weird and uncomfortable and stuff. But look at him, he's just like,
Jesus,
because,
God, no.
Because I really look up to you know,
Brendan.
Well, because I think that
There's
where
nothing more I
America loses you is they don't get it. Do people get you?
Hey, thanks, sweetheart.
Yeah.
I'm getting mad.
Come on, man, you can't.
This
I
guy's
don't like Rick.
stop.
I just feel like we're living in a time where everybody
Look at that.
has no attention span, and it's worse than ever because of.
It is my pleasure to introduce one of the stars of one of my favorite podcasts. I never miss an episode. The
Fighter and the Kid.
Fighter and the Kid, Bryan Callen.
This is Arnold Schwarzenegger as a bunny rabbit.
Yes.
I like this.
Carrots.
Because everyone, at least in the comedy world, knows that if you want funny, you get Bryan Callen. He does the thing where he slaps his quads and talks about horses.
And pretends he's a bird.
Yeah, he's been doing that for a while.
Rick.
That was good, Rick. Honestly, Glass was a fucking legend. Slaps his legs about horses. That's a brilliant Bryan Callen impression of his comedy, isn't it? Right? I'm a man. I put on my shoulder, I run down the thing, I fuck like this. Fuck, you know, exhausting, bro. That same fucking humor. I'm a man.
Have him. Wee!
You're insecure.
No.
You're dumb.
What?
But you're like, sometimes you make us laugh. I just think it sucks how insecure you are about your comedy. You make me laugh and you don't have to like be on and like worry about it.
I'm not insecure until you came in and you went.
He did that?
Yeah, he went, you know what he did? He went, you're funny. Like I had asked him if I was funny.
Sure.
I do well at comedy. They laugh at me.
No, you're funny. Don't worry, man. You're funny.
There we go.
Brian, you're funny. Don't worry about it.
I know that.
There's something you're good at. It's hiding and making yourself look small.
Well, no,
that was also a
Brian, you have a
laugh.
boner right now?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Brian, you have a boner right now?
What happens with endorphins when I get excited about somebody's hand speed is I
It was
get
the
fucking,
magic. Sometimes
Can
you
you
get,
guys not talk
sometimes
behind
you
my
get
back
real.
like
Sometimes,
right in front of me, man?
sometimes you get real.
I'm a very intense guy. What the
Brendan
fuck?
was so
What the
lost.
fuck, dude?
Yes,
What the
yes.
dude? What the
Kick his
fuck,
ass,
dude?
Rick.
Yes, but I'm trying to become.
Oh, yes, but. Is that the way you learn how to improvise?
No, I'm trying to be more.
Oh, no?
Man, you're not.
I'm more Broadway, but I think, and also hip hop, but I think that you.
Those are two genres. Yeah.
Very good.
No, I know, dude, but you're. Man.
Have you ever considered leading a, I'm being serious, by the way, leading a film and having somebody write it, because I don't think you would, and leading a film where you.
I can't do it, but what?
I could probably do it.
Can I do your podcast?
You know,
wow.
I sent you both messages back in 2019.
Yeah.
You came on. You told me, get back to me, or I'm busy, or whatever.
I was busy, probably doing stuff.
Don't you find it funny that Brian Callen big timed Rick Glassman in 2019 when probably he was on top of the world, and obviously now he's been quote unquote cancelled. He's more open to doing his show. All right, at that time it was funny because that's probably what happened. Most likely, he was on, Joker, on School, then whatever the show that he was on, and obviously when that all went away after the rape allegations, now suddenly I can do your show. Hilarious.
I have family. I have.
Oh, you don't have a family anymore?
I have my fighting
I have
stuff.
one. I have a family. Too.
Oh yeah,
I made it.
And also a whole bunch of podcasts.
Yeah.
And you had to come over. You had to put on the hazmat suit. You were very respectful.
I don't
about it.
remember you offering to come on.
Yeah, let's pull up your DMs.
I don't think you had a podcast.
I wouldn't be surprised, like if I'm really funny and people are sharing it.
Oh, that was fucking brilliant. Big up Rick Glassman, man. Absolutely legend. What are you guys saying here? AZ Rick definitely has an alternative comedy on stage. From what little I've seen. Big up Robert Henry Poet, our resident comedy stand-up special comedy expert. Thank you for that, brother. Yeah, I'd assumed it would be. I didn't think he'd just get on there and just be like talking to a mic. He's too like wacky to do that, Jeremy. It'll definitely be a little bit different. So big up Rick Glassman. What you guys saying? Yeah, what you guys? Rick also acts autistic when it benefits him. You know damn well he's not autistic. He's doing dick jokes and he's fully aware of everything. He's using autism to gain gigs. Severe design. I don't think I'm gonna be that cynical. I know what you mean. Maybe he leans in. I don't think he's not. I don't think he pretends to be autistic. Maybe he might lean into it for the bit, for the comedy, which I don't mind. Because at least his podcast is somewhat funny. He doesn't just sit there talking about stand up all the time. Do you know what I mean? He tries to make it silly. So I don't really mind that in that respect, to be fair. I'm not gonna lie. I don't mind it, too fair. Even if he is lying, I don't mind it. Rick is definitely autistic, but not in a hot way. Jay is fucking so shallow. Not in a hot, cool way. He's just autistic in an annoying Elon Musk way, innit? Oh, Uche is a fucking legend. Oh, you said, I've always said not in a hot way. Okay, so my bad. Okay, I take it back. I apologize. Control field officers to Jew is crazy. Yeah, I've never met a Jew that's overly sensitive. To be fair, they're all pretty like chill guys. To be fair, for the most part, chill guys. Never met him. He doesn't make it about stand up because he's too scared of bombing on two stand ups. That's why he would never see a footage of Rick doing stand up. Okay, maybe. I don't know. I didn't know there was this much reservation and pushback about fucking Rick Glassman. I always thought he was quite a good egg. It's interesting to hear some of you guys in the stream chat saying that you're not really too fans of him, you're not sold on him. I always thought he was pretty inoffensive. But yeah, I guess everyone's got their different taste. But I quite like him, to be fair. The fact that he makes an effort on his fucking pod to edit the clips and shit and insert all these little bits is quite cool. But yeah, what can you do? What can you do? So, next on list here. Let's talk about this. I'm sure most of you have seen this as well. I'm not too sure what to think about this because mum tings, isn't it? Mum tings. So, the mothers in the stream chat, if there are any here, I think maybe could chime in more and offer a bit more, insight into this. But this is an interesting answer from one of the Q&As that Brendan Schaub's wife did. post their kid coming home and stuff and post C-section. Somebody asked Brendan Schaub's wife, why is it your first night after the early delivery of their kid? She said, since coming home from NICU, we've had an amazing night nurse. We used her with Boston as well. We have her for 5 days a week, so I can still be present for my other 2 kids. And I can also drive them to school, pick them up, etc. I do like spending time bonding with Billy, so I have her for 2 nights until I fully can recover and she gets on better eating and sleeping schedule. So I'm wondering if this is something that most mothers would want to do if they had the money and the, you know, maybe lifestyle to afford so. Where you can maybe get someone to help you, and then you could be quote unquote present for the other 2 kids, or if this is a very LA privileged, you know, very divorced from reality way of kind of bringing up kids, where because they're, I don't know, basically babies, it doesn't really matter who kind of like looks after them for the majority of their time when they're growing up, maybe, I don't know, and then you kind of take over when they start to formulate their a personality and shit. That's when you kind of slide in there and like, hey, mummy's back and stuff. Maybe. I don't really know. But I found that admission to be kind of wild because I also remember there was post from this lady where she was complaining about being a mum, like how overworked she is. And it's funny to hear somebody complaining about being overworked. Like, I always find that kind of content online really weird. But again, I think there's a part of me that kind of has sympathy for a stay-at-home mum like this who's kind of clearly bored. So, you know, use your social media as a kind of an outlet to kind of just, you know, share your frustration. So I think that's fairly fine. Do what you want. But the complaining about how hard it is to be a quote-unquote single mum, I would say, no, she's not single. The constant campaign that she was doing online about being a mum, and then now you're, you know, letting the world know that you get a lot of help, right, is an odd one. It's an odd one. It's an odd one, really, isn't it? It's an odd one. It's an odd one. Because what is it? Are you the beast of a mum, or do you get all the help needed to do so? I'm not really too sure. But I find this all very, very strange. Very, very, very strange. What are you guys saying here? What are you guys saying here? Big up. I'm sitting with Chin's mum right now. Super jello. She's not a real Mexican if she's doing that. Exactly. Machi Wiwi 91. Exactly. There we go. That's a very good point. That's very un-Mexican of her, isn't it? To be like letting another person raise their child. Like, very, very interesting. C-section life. Mother of exotics. Trisha G's are funny. Mexican also has a night husband. Oi. Super jello. Josie says, no, I wanted to be the person to raise my baby. When he was new, I didn't even want people to touch him. But I only have 1 kid. Could be different multi kids. Yeah, that's the thing. Good point there, Josie. I don't know. I don't know what to think of this. I don't know what to think of it. Because again, none of my business. This is women's business, to be fair. Mom's business. So maybe it is what it is. But it's a weird thing to kind of put out there, you know, especially when you're online, always complaining about raising your kids and having to be a mom and how hard it is. And then you also have a nurse that lives in your house for what, 5 days? That's a lot of help, bro. It's a lot of help. You know what I mean? And yeah, I don't know. I don't really have a comment on this. I don't even know why I brought it up, to be fair. It's none of my business. But hey, whatever. Hopefully it works out for them. This is a good one actually as well, about the work thing. That was a fucking funny answer and question, this one. Somebody else, again, I think some of these are a bit trolly as well to kind of get a reaction, but somebody asked her the following: is it hard balancing keeping your private life private as a public figure? And Brendan's wife responded, it is, which is why we are keeping baby girl's face to ourselves for a while, but we're thankful for the life that we have thanks to me and my husband's work. And obviously people are responding and saying, what work? Because the lady doesn't work. You know what I mean? Brendan does all the fucking work. And maybe some would argue even, you know, whatever. But for lack of a better term, Brendan definitely does all the work. So inserting herself into it was fucking hilarious. But, you know, she's a mother, so I guess that is a portion of work that needs to be done. But yeah, I find all this stuff interesting and bizarre, really, to be fair, because if you want to keep the kid private, you don't need to mention it or even post the kid on social media at all. Like, keep, posting the kid on social media, but then covering his face with an emoji is like, it's weird, Like, if you're gonna be private about the kid's identity, which is fine, because of course it's a young girl, so maybe it's a different sort of dynamic when it comes to social media use. I'm sure that happens, right? I'm sure it's a consideration if you're a new parent, how you're gonna post your kids online, because social media, especially Instagram, there is a lot of like weird, like creepy, almost pedophile type of stuff that goes on there. So you have to be careful what kind of post you. Because I remember randomly one time on Instagram, I stumbled on like a page. I think it was like this is it. It was fucking horrible. So I follow this page on my Instagram account that posts clips of like ballerinas, right? It's like a ballet school somewhere. I don't know where it is, wherever. Don't ask me where. But obviously it's a woman, I think, that's a coach, or like whatever the term is for a ballerina teacher is, right? Or whatever you call them. And she teaches girls to do ballet. And there's loads of different girls there. And I guess one bit of the content was like these really young girls that she was teaching that were fucking incredible. So I liked a couple of their stuff. And obviously I'm getting it more on my discovery page. One time I saw one post and I looked at the video, then I read the comments and I was like, whoa. I didn't know that there was this like undercover thing where I guess guys who are into like, into little kids, basically pedophiles and shit, would follow those type of accounts to kind of look at kids without looking at kids type of thing. So I guess if you're a young parent, or if you're a parent and you have a daughter, you have to kind of, know that is a thing and navigate accordingly on social media, because you might end up with followers on there that, are a little bit fucking, fucking creeps and weirdos and shit and sickos. I was very much weirded out when I saw it, I'm not gonna lie, but I think you'll notice it a lot. If you see, again, I'm not really sure what other content it may be, but I'm sure if you see content, if you go on a social media account, I don't know, of like a place that, I don't know, like a horse riding place. Think of anything like a young girl would be into, like horse riding, swimming and shit. You'll see a lot of guys in the comments that, are definitely on the pedophile type of shit. They're definitely on that type of wave, which is really odd. So I'm assuming the connection or relationship with social media with young girls is very odd. So I understand keeping identity private, but I think if you're going to do the whole private thing, just don't post a kid online. It's not necessary. Like, if they want to get social media when they're older, when they're of age, they can do it themselves. But whilst they're a baby, like, why? We know you had the kid. You told us. We don't need to see it. It's no one's business, really, Like, I don't see a need, like, honestly, because I see it on Instagram the other day, like, they're going through all the effort to fucking cover the picture, the baby's face with fucking hearts and stuff. It's like, if you don't want to post a picture of the baby, just don't post it. But yeah, there are some people that are a bit more cynical on the Find a Kid subreddit who suggested that maybe the reason why they're not posting a picture of the kid on social is because it's a premature baby, and allegedly, if you have a premature kid, sometimes the face isn't all the way set or something, and they say maybe it kind of looks a bit weird, so they don't want to post a picture of the baby on it because of that. It's like for like a shallow reason, more so than a moral type of principled way. It's like, I hate that to be true. I'd hate that to be true. I really would hate that to be true, because that's fucking grim. Do you know what I mean? You're not posting your kid online just because it's not cute or something. It's like, eesh. Yo, yeah, I don't know. What are you guys saying here? You see these comments on really young influencers pages too, and their parents promote it. Yeah, exactly, Uche. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, it's hard to describe, but like, if you go to like page, whatever, again, like I said, that one I was just following because of the ballet, and then again, it's a teacher, and then she teaches other groups of girls, and obviously, the younger the girls are, when you look at the comments, it's dicey, bro. So I can only imagine what the young influencer pages are like. Like, imagine the girls who are like, I'm sure there are girls on TikTok or Instagram who are like 15 and super famous. Imagine what their what their fucking comments are gonna be like. Imagine seeing someone you know leaving comments on like a 15-year-old fucking, like, verified all that shit, whatever. But imagine, actually, I don't think you can be on Instagram when you're 15, can you? I don't know. Or I don't think it shows you to other accounts. I'm not too sure. I don't want to act like I'm an expert on that because that is weird. Jack Coulter, get love. I saw one guy trying to get into a 12-year-old influencer's house. The cops had to drag him away. Jesus Christ. Yeah. Piper Rochelle's mom got exposed bad for grooming a lot of young influencers. Like half of their likes old men. Jesus Christ. Yeah. Too much, man. Too much. I can't be doing that shit. What else we got to talk about here? I did that. I did this. Oh yeah, this is a funny one because of the name they finally got, right? So this is Brendan not wanting to divulge the name of his new kid, but then obviously because he's so redacted, he says it anyway. So I wonder if he says the name, not realizing he said the name, or if he said it, or if he actually didn't know the name at this point. That's what I'm thinking. So let's play this clip. This is funny.
Dude, I love it. Do you have a name for the girl yet? Have you announced
We
that?
do. I don't. I'll tell you off air.
Okay.
I don't like sharing that because I also, you know, my oldest is Tiger, my youngest is Boston, and I like different things. I like different cars, I like different names. I think the world has enough Billies and Toms.
We're gonna get an Esperanza.
I like different cars and I like different things. Imagine equating the names you pick for your kids to your taste in cars. That's the oddest thing about this whole like, why does that make a connection? Like, I like different, like, what? But why would the car be the thing that you compare to how you pick kid names?
Esperanza here. Something here.
Yeah,
We're gonna get something special. We're gonna get something special.
But it's a girl, so you gotta be careful,
right?
You know,
right.
You know, you don't want to pick like a
Go too
stripper
quick.
name.
Yeah,
you don't
no
do
problem.
like
You
cinnamon.
gotta go exotic.
Yeah, you don't do cinnamon, and then she's either gonna be a celebrity or stripper.
Right,
like,
right. Peach or something.
So
like
yeah,
that.
so when it goes to a girl, you gotta be careful, man.
Dude, it's so.
So in case you didn't realize it, he already revealed the name of the kid. Keep it in mind again. One more time.
Dude, I love it. Do you have a name for the girl yet? Have you announced
We
that?
do. I don't. I'll tell you off air.
Okay.
I don't like sharing that because I also, you know, my oldest is Tiger, my youngest is Boston, and I like different things. I like different cars, I like different names. I think the world has enough Billies and Toms.
We're gonna get an
and the kid's name is Billy. It's like he says so. He fucking hates the name already. But I wonder in this aspect, again, this is just me psychoanalyzing people that I don't know from afar and being way too balls deep into stuff that doesn't matter. But I wonder if this is a representation of maybe the distance between the two, right? As in maybe they're not as close as they once were, right? Brendan and his wife a little bit. Because maybe in the past he had a little bit more, I wouldn't say authority, but he had a bit more place to like dictate stuff like that. So he picked Tiger, he picked Boston. But then now it's a girl, and now it's the third kid, and now so much stuff has happened since, you know, in between. Maybe that was like her chance to take, you know what, I'm putting my foot down. I'm picking a name for this kid. It's a girl. It's my first and probably only girl. I'm picking a name. This is my baby, kind of thing. Which probably is why he's acting the way he is about the whole pregnancy and about the fucking birth and shit. He's a bit detached from it. Do you know what I mean? Maybe because he wasn't really involved, like apart from the fucking, you know, apart from how they conceived the baby, he wasn't actually involved. Maybe that was the reason what happened. Maybe that was what happened. So that's probably why he's a bit distant in everything that's been going on. Exotica Dallas Shaub. Exotica Dallas Shaub is fucking hilarious. Oh mate. Joseph said he's had said he hates the name exactly. Actually, didn't we say one stream one time? I said I was surprised he didn't call her Porsche or something. Like Porsche, Ferrari. I'm just surprised he didn't call her that. MM says he probably knows it's weird to use his friends' kids' names. Yeah, exactly, MM. Exactly. The baddie's got his naming card revoked. Apparently, they already took their prime baby to the mall fresh out of the NCIU. Jesus Christ, bro. Of course they did. Oh, so did you take that baby to fucking the Balenciaga store? That picture of her trying on the jacket at the Balenciaga store. Did she take the baby there? Fucking hell, bro. Born 4 weeks premature, just fresh out of the fucking NIC unit, and the first thing you do is take that baby to a fucking busy mall with all those fucking germs everywhere. It's like, yeah. They did IVF to get the baby they wanted to make sure it was a girl. Yeah, that's the feeling I get, Josie. I get that feeling. Maybe that explains why Brendan's so detached from it. He doesn't want to get involved, maybe, because he feels like it's not his. I don't know. Who knows? Also, that might explain why he quit drinking. Sorry, why he's not drinking as much, maybe. Maybe he hasn't quit altogether, but that might explain it. Maybe there was something in that whole thing, maybe.
Esperanza here. Something here.
Yeah,
We're going to get something special.
Yeah.
We're going to get something special.
But it's a girl, so you got to be careful.
Right.
You know?
Right.
You know, you don't want to pick like a
Go
stripper
too quick.
name.
Yeah,
you don't do
problem.
like
You
cinnamon.
got to go exotic.
Yeah, you don't want to do cinnamon, and then she's either going to be a celebrity or stripper.
Right.
Yeah.
Peach or something like that.
So when it goes to a girl, you got to be careful, man.
Dude, it's so...
I laugh at this like fake camaraderie, this fake bonding that these guys do on podcasts where they try and pretend like they're friends and they try and talk. Oh my god, Coiler, that comment. Balenciaga was like, baby. And we've got a special room for you right at the back. Actually, it's underground, like the pizza. Let's not go there. Let's not get my channel cancelled. But yeah, I find this whole fucking fake banter bro thing going on where they try and pretend like they're friends, asking about family stuff. It's like so cringe and so embarrassing, really. Hey, just make a funny pod or talk about the business, talk about entertainment, wherever your expertise is. But this trying to fake a connection and talk about the family and kids and stuff is like, come on. Even though that guy's the coach of the baseball coach of his kid and shit, it's just weird, to be fair. Just talk about the thing you want to talk about. You don't need to try and pretend like you're friends. We know you're not actually friends. Come on, guys. Let's all relax, if we don't mind. Let's all fucking relax. And I think that may be it for now. I'm actually gonna save the chin fucking vlog because it's 30 minutes and I don't have 30 minutes at the moment. So we're gonna watch that next stream. That'll be later on today. So we're gonna do another one later on today, talking about all that stuff. So if you haven't watched that yet, please save it and watch it with me together. So we're gonna watch the whole chin fucking vlog. He's got a new one at the moment, which looks fucking good. So I really wanna sink my fucking rabbit teeth into that fucking shit. So do come with me to fucking watch that shit. I'm really curious to see what Chinsuyi is going to be doing, so we're going to watch that tomorrow. But yeah, man, for now I think that's the most I wanted to talk about. I think I covered all the bases for the most part. I think I covered all the things I wanted to talk about on here, so I'm going to love you and leave you guys. So thank you so much for tuning in. I want to double check the thing and see if there's anything I missed out on. Bear with me 1 second, but I just see the fucking the subreddit, and see if I missed out anything that might have fucking popped up late. But I think I covered most things, to be fair. There's a couple comedy enforcement things up as well that I might have to react to. I think he's got a new one about Steve or something, and Tom Segura. Oh, this is the premature baby clip, isn't it? Oh no, man, you guys were right. This kid going out to the... How are you taking a premature baby out to the mall, bro? Oh no. Honestly, what is wrong with these people, bro? What is wrong with these people? Someone just explain to me. We were going stir crazy on this. Let me put it big so you can see it. Jesus, we were going stir crazy at home, so it was the first outing alone with 2 of my 3 kids, while Tiger and Bren are at baseball since it's too cold for baby. Too cold outside, so let's go to the mall. How long has she been at home? Like 3 days, 4 days with a baby? And you're already going crazy just being at home for 3 days. We were going stir crazy at home. They live in a mansion, by the way. A mansion behind some big gates, lovely lawn, great like... I don't know what to say, man. Again, I think they're perfect for each other because they clearly quite similar. how they think and shit. Like, you know, it's all about looking after themselves and stuff and their own self-interest. Fair enough, but it will be a literal miracle if those kids come out well adjusted, isn't it, really? But it actually does happen quite often. When you have like parents that are that redacted or are as redacted as, you know, Brendan and the wife kind of display sometimes on social, sometimes it can work the opposite way. And sometimes your kids can come out really well adjusted, like, because they see, you know, how their parents are, and they're like, I don't want to be like that, you know? But sometimes it can obviously not work out as well, and you end up with kids just as redacted, if not more redacted than the parents. But God almighty, bro, I'm like, yeah, what could you say, really? What could you say? Again, everyone has to raise... When it comes to kids, it's hard to really say anything, to be fair, because, you know, everyone kind of does the best job that they can do given the circumstances, and you are in no position to tell anybody what to do or how to raise their own children. But yeah, even I, clueless I, would know that maybe it's not the best idea to take your premature baby to a busy fucking shopping mall. Maybe not. Maybe, you know. It's one thing if you want to, say you want to get fresh air and you want to go to the park or something, fair enough, and walk around, or I don't know, whatever, you want to get some fresh sea air and whatever nonsense. I can somewhat understand that crappy logic, but going to a shopping mall is insane, legitimately insane. But also, maybe they're lying about everything. Maybe the kid wasn't as ill or wasn't as, you know, premature as they both made it seem as, because it's all possible. They could have completely lied about the story and made it up to make it, you know, to make it be a little bit more concerned. People could be feeling more sorry for them and shit. That could also be a possibility. So everything's possible when it comes to people like this who just lie, you know, without reason. Like that whole fucking lying about why they named the kid, what they named the kid. Like, it's just insanely unnecessary. So I wouldn't put it past these people to also lie about everything else in between. So unfortunate side of the story, to be fair. I didn't want to see this, but clearly it's the case. So big up in the shoot chat that basically brought this up. But yeah, it looks like they took the baby out to the preacher to the shopping mall. I don't know. Like I said, I think they're perfect for each other, but God almighty, bro, like, if those kids end up to be well-adjusted, you know, decent human beings, it's going to be a fucking miracle, because wow. Like, yeah, wow. Wow. What else we got here before we leave? Let me see. Okay, one more thing on here. Let me see what I can find. Well, give me a second here. Where is it? Okay, let's look at this one. I think this is a new post that somebody uploaded here. What's this one? Says, you'll be hearing from Papa's attorneys. What's this? Oh, it's just an old. Okay, cool. I'm not gonna play that one. Anyway, what I'm saying here, cyanide Morbi. You bought Mexican in a family house and you ate Domino's on a turkey date. Doesn't make sense. Exactly. Yeah, exactly, Coiler. Very, very good point, that one. Exactly. Better have a golden monkey paw on that baby to protect her. Exactly. Miss USA Tiger. Miss US Tiger 2037. Pope Boston 2027. Yeah, exactly, hipster high honeyman. Exactly, like Haley Eminem's daughter. Exactly. Born from Redux and in a very toxic environment, but then she seems to be fairly, you know, dreads and a patchouli. Kids gonna be deadheads, and the Mexican as fuck. 3 days on Addies for a month. These kids are props. Yeah, her baby being born. Her being born is a higher priority than the kid's health as a newborn. Insane. Narcissism is also charts. Yeah, exactly, MM. And I think that, again, like I said, I think they're just perfect for each other. I think they found their soulmates in that regard. They're definitely soulmates, because there's no other way that ever makes sense anywhere else. But hey, not my business. Anyway, for now, guys, thanks so much for tuning into the show. It's a pleasure to have your company as per usual. Thank you for tuning in. It's always a pleasure, never a chore. If you've enjoyed the show and you liked what you see, you heard what you liked, please make sure you smash the like button down below. That'd be greatly appreciated. And then I'll be back again later on tonight with another episode of Random Show. We're gonna do mostly the chin stuff. We're gonna bang through that fucking vlog. That should be a good one. And then yeah, anything else in between that happens between them, we'll also be talking about that as well. So yeah, thank you for tuning in with me, friends. I appreciate all of you. Thank you, Don Dota. See ya. Thank you for joining in. Uche, big up my G, Coiler, Wagwan, as always, my homie. Big up Hipster Handyman, Trisha G, Sue, who else is here? MM, love to you as always. Josie, I see ya, love to you. Trisha G, I see ya. Machi Wee 91, I see you also. Zia, see you. Thank you for chilling with me. Who's that? Banana cream pie, well done. Thank you for hanging. MK, I see ya. Severe Design, I see ya. Everybody's hanging in there. Appreciate all of you for participating. Thank you for hanging out with me. Never a chore, always fun times. And yeah, I'll be back again later on tonight. MMA Johnny as well was here before. Big up you. And yeah, I'll see you guys later on tonight. So thank you for hanging out with me. Peace and blessings to all of you. Darksea the Flow, thank you also for chilling out with me as well. Yeah, DSP content as well. I'll be doing that as well tomorrow. Sorry, to later tonight. So DSP and fucking Chin will be fucking on the main course, and maybe a little bit of no jumper stuff as well. So big up everybody for joining in. Appreciate you guys, and see you again very soon. Peace out. Peace out, my friends. Appreciate all of you.